I can't believe that we're already back here for week 6 of EGFC Valorant. My name is Sam Tonks, joining me, the ever amazing and lovely Strive. And Strive, what a matchup that we have tonight between Texas State University, the Bobcats, and University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats. So we got the Cats going against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be an absolutely sick evening. There's so many great games to come. And you're right. It feels like, honestly, you blink your eyes twice, you look at your watch, and holy cow, it's Friday. And you're back here yet again. For those that are joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. For those that are not here, I have no idea what you're doing on a Friday. You should be watching in. If there's people watching, which there should be, send the link around. Let's get this thing popping and populate it up. In terms of this evening, though, let's go ahead and, Sam, talk about the schedule, what's coming up, the matches you can expect, in hopes that we can get some more viewership and some more love out here. Run us through this absolute trio of goodness we got.
Well, I couldn't tell you. I could tell you how awesome this is going to be, right? We obviously have our game that's happening right now between these two teams, but there's still a bevy more left to go, including University of Connecticut versus University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and then University of Delaware versus Rochester Institute of Technology. So a stacked night of Valorant. Strive. So much to be going on here, so much that's going to be happening. But what we are going to be focusing on is Texas State University versus University of Cincinnati. Talking about these two teams, however, University of Cincinnati so far a pretty perfect season. Texas State not quite able to say the same, sitting at a 2-1 scoreline, but only one behind Cincinnati with what we're looking at right now. And Strive, you have the rosters. Let's take it. Let's go right through it.
Yeah, all the way top to bottom, Texas State. A lot of familiar names, by the way, on both sides. Luke, Chief, Okran, Maynard, and Aaron on the Bobcat side of the spectrum. On the side of Cincinnati, familiar faces as per the usual. Dummy, Vulcan, Jectile, Taka, and Waldy. I am immensely psyched. I've had the chance to watch both of these two teams play. And I think what's going to make this evening even more spicy, Sam, is the situation for the maps. We have a really fun trio lined up for our beautiful viewers this evening.
That we do. And in fact, this trio that's going to be starting us off is none other than the reworked, the infamous map, I would dare say, of Breeze, chosen here by University of Cincinnati. Then we're going to go on to the fan favorite, the standard, the map that all collegiate teams know best, Ascent, and finally ending us off on Split. But to start off with Breeze, Strive, that is a bold choice here from Cincinnati, and one that I think could potentially send the Bobcats into a tailspin.
It's going to be a really fun map one, right? It's a complete different approach to the typical lineup that we've seen time in and time out, the way that the sequence is unfolded a lot of the times. Ascent seems to be a very great default map one. Getting Breeze as a map number 2, seen it many times. Now we go to the big open world of Breeze, like you said, reworked, ever so refreshing, and a very fun and technical map to get down to that I think really utilizes the breadth and depth of a team's ability to calm and utilize some big open alleyways to make entry plays. Mid, after his changes to Breeze, has become a huge contention point. And for me, it's a lot of fun to watch it as these agent picks go out to hopefully complement this map and work towards a very solid set of strats for both these teams.
I agree. And looking at both sides right now, almost a complete mirror matchup. The only difference between these two are the Sky and the KO. Starting off on attack is going to be University of Cincinnati, defending against them Texas State University. This is going to be a difficult one. Defense typically has a little bit of a rougher time when it comes to how they play through on this map. But really do keep an eye on these Viper Strive, right? Viper is still the pivotal agent when it comes to just how you play through on Breeze, being able to cut off these long sight lines. And even with these reworks, there are still the long sight lines that you have to consider. What does Viper do? Viper cuts that in half. And so we're going to see typically whichever site that's going to be executed on, that's where the Viper wall comes up. But you don't want to do it too soon, right? You don't want to give away the cards in your hand too early.
No, 110%. And, you know, to supplement the Viper, we're going to have really strong initiation, right? I've seen Reyna really excel in this map in the past, but the occupation of Chief and Taka here are going to have to be backed up really nicely by that KO and that Sky to be able to make these very strong entry plays and close these big gaps. And talking of big gaps to close, looks like the first one's going to be the middle area here. Initial contention from Cincinnati as they're posted up. There goes that Viper wall committed. The dog going through. Snakebite to hopefully halt them, but there's a little crack open here. Santa can get on fight.
Potentially can. In comes the guiding light, but instead it's going to blind Taka. They can't see anything that's happening to them. Finally able to get out of there, but Chief is still going to get the pick onto them before being traded out by Dummy. It's going to be a complete control and takeover here from University of Cincinnati. So quick in how they were coming up, especially as Waldy going through main. But as we're getting the spike planted, Luke walks away with a 2K. Still, it may have gone down, but Luke did a world of damage onto them before regrouping with their teammate for the retake.
Yeah, Vulcan also very low here. We're waiting patiently. I believe that's Aaron on that Cypher to join this party and hopefully help out with Luke. You can see that action about to unfold now. Aaron gets kicked out, going to give Jackal the chance and missed the shot! Where's the translation on that? Sheriff, hello and good night. Well executed on that retake.
Definitely not what you wanted to have happened there. The bullets, the Sheriff shots just were not going where they needed to. It was a good attack from University of Cincinnati. A little sloppy at the same time, however, right? The dummy guiding light that blinded out Taka. You do not want that to happen. Taka goes onto site, was not able to get the maximum value, and even though they grabbed the first blood, it fell apart so quickly with them being traded out. And then you really have to give kind of the massive majority of favor over to Luke here, Strive.
Yeah, that was I think, to your point, the best word you could have picked was sloppy. It didn't seem very cohesive. And even on that take on the 2v1, I can't recall who was back by right pyramid, but I think it was Luke potentially that was able to get one before passing. So two people peeking on that attack were not able to get out one defender on right pyramid. Like, I don't know how that's possible on the grand scheme. But second look here, Aaron, a nice opening on to Taka. Going to go ahead and halt this push. That's going to eliminate the jet. Waldy's got some space, but there's a whole lot of rotates on the way. Got to be very, very careful here.
We are going to have to be careful, but these weapons are powerful as ever. Vulcan, though, showing off what they can do with that Sheriff. And Jectile rectifying what they did in that previous round. Vulcan, firm as can be, only 4 HP, still landing these headshots. Don't need to worry about HP as long as you can outwit your competition, as long as you can out-aim the competition. There's only so much that you can do here. Vulcan trying their best, falls, and we're seeing that second round won, but it was kind of won in blood, Strive.
Tons of it, right? Big financial impact here, but on the opposing end for Cincinnati, they're also a little bit worse for wear. They got to be very careful with these half armor situations, I think, right? This is a big round for Texas State, though. If they can go ahead and take these Guardians, the Marshals, and whatever else bits and bobs they've held on to and solidify this round, that's a huge momentum shift further in their way. That really tilts the swings. We'll see how it works out. Cincinnati have to get their footing into the ground here sooner than later. I mean, it is early, don't get me wrong, but I haven't seen that strength and, necessarily the cohesive strategies out of Cincinnati just yet.
No, we haven't. Now Taka, immediate dash onto the high ground. Needing to remove this recon dart, not giving out any more of that sweet information, and eliminating the tripwire there. More room that they can spread their wings onto with this B-side. Spike is going to be planted by Vulcan. Instead here, however, from Texas State, it's just all going to be working towards that site retake, but they're taking so much time to actually get on here that it's just taking away.
Watching here. Right here.
Viper there on that flank, now going to be met with Jet from elbow. They're going to have to work relatively quickly as the rest of the crew comes down through spawn now. Gives Viper plenty of time to recharge and get that rifle ball right back up. Taka, in the fight, Jectile, Dummy, it's an absolute smorgasbord of picks across the kill feed. Leaves it down to one lonesome Maynard to resurrect and hope with that Spectre. Going to go ahead and opt for the Guardian. A little bit of a wall here for the road, Sam, and that's going to reveal the position and give that round off to Cincinnati. Well done. We can execute in a very, very passive and interesting play from Texas State.
Yeah, I would have thought in that situation that Texas State would have want to go back in there, maybe even one of them trying to hold their ground, but instead they just wanted to give it up and play for the retake. But the problem is, when they were playing for that retake, the communication that was happening there just took way too long. And in these situations where you go into the bonus round, especially if you're Texas State, you may not win them, but you still want to try and take off as many guns off the board and do as much damage to the economy. And so University of Cincinnati, they only lost one, and so you see what that's going to be doing to their economy. They get to go right back into it and just go again, try for it once more.
Careful now.
Again here, Cypher, of course, after these slight adjustments and changes, still keeping alive and being very firm with those wires. Chief for the one. Taka's already made it on site. Where's Aaron here? Patient on the back.
No way!
No! Sam, you gotta be kidding me.
That should have been easily done. Thankfully, Maynard in mid is able to pick up the kill on a dummy. Turns right back around, looking for another pick there. The smoke screen needs to go up to protect their escape vector to get the heck out of there. A quick snake bite, perhaps, maybe as well. Ejectile trying to plant it, but is going to be denied that from that snake bite. Now we're going to see if the reunited University of Cincinnati front is going to be able to take things back here. As the snake bite lands onto Ejectile once more. They may have been blinded, but the bullets are still going to be able to find their targets onto Maynard. Going for that post-plant site set up. The retake in this 2v2 strive.
I was going to work out here. Lineups are prime. Tapping it. Ejectile should be sending first snake here in a minute. Taka going for the swing. We got Ejectile now following it in with the poison bubble of doom. They know they're still aware of the aggression. Ejectile really nice as well. A little bit of a lengthy three. Luke is going to battle for it. And the quick tap and the hop off is going to be what solidifies that round for Texas State. Really good patience. I mean, in moments like that, Sam, with a Viper with lineups, it's very easy to get overwhelmed and kind of concerned as to how you're going to get played on. But they did a really good job being patient and just wow. I'm happy that Texas State pulled that one together for us.
It did get a little scary though, right?
It did.
On
did.
B site, and you look at Aaron. They did have a lot of pressure on their shoulders, and you could probably feel that radiating off of them. It's happened to me many times. There's someone who's standing perfectly still, and I whiff every single shot, and then I panic even more. This is something that needs to be said about Texas State, that they're able to right the wrongs of whatever's happening there, and especially for what Maynard did, was beautifully executed. And so now we're looking at potentially here a Hunter's Fury to start things off from Luke, pick up some extra information on whether they're going to be coming up, but we're looking at a default right now, and again, just trying to get those picks early on here from University of Cincinnati.
That'd be really good for him. I think with the attacker side, I'm a fan of the default on this map, Sam, right? Like you said, a quick 1 or 2 picks ideally to get some space to work with, because Breeze with these deep depths and especially Texas State's patience makes it super hard to get on a site and be able to play a firm and steady post plant when there's 4 or 5 people alive about to use every bit of utility that hasn't been used yet on you. So Luke here jousting towards net. He's got a lot of information that Snake Bite's going to zone it off and hopefully allow them to siege on connector and see Ejectile doing just that there via air.
Gonna wonder if this mid strike is gonna happen for them. The blades are flying through with the gracefulness of the air. The Jet may not have been able to get the kill, but thankfully Dummy's aim is just that little bit more truer. Aaron with a sheriff in hand. Only so much that they could do once again. This Cypher struggling to find any of that massive impact. Okarin trying to decide where they wanted to look, but Vulcan knew exactly where they needed to be and exactly where they were gonna be. One last 1v1 that Vulcan is gonna pick up against their mirror. And there we have it, University of Cincinnati finding their win, finding their round, finding their way back in potentially Strive and evening up that score line just a little bit more.
Really good strides from Cincinnati on that run. I love their setup, how patient they were. I like that little snake bite towards Nest to keep Sova away, and from there they were able to get a lot of good map control. That's the kind of stuff that's going to set you apart as an attacker. Your ability to zone and to then, better define your strat as the round is setting up early on, right? The last thing you want to do is be in a panic position with no map control, forcing yourself onto the site. And I think Cincinnati has done a really good job of it.
We're going to see if they can continue that, and Taka is going to continue that. Look at this aggression right into the dash, seeing exactly once that cloud burst goes away, the target of Chief immediately acquired in their eyes. No one from Texas State is going to be able to stop University of Cincinnati, especially not Luke with just a classic in hand. Taka, easy peasy, wrap that up in a bow and send it right home to mom. Now 3-3, University of Cincinnati tying on Breeze.
I gotta say, something very special about the past 2 rounds. The tail end of the previous and the entirety of this round really upped the tempo for Cincinnati. They went absolute full send and committed to the push, and rightfully so. Taka's dash onto site there with the division of connector and that cloudburst really gives you a 50-50 against Chief, who's hiding in it. That's the kind of play you want to take with the advantageous gun, knowing that Chief on a pistol, even if they do decide to pop out of a cloudburst, ain't gonna be able to capitalize on you. And the rest of the team coming out of main, I mean, full support for that duelist. Really, really clean execution top to bottom.
Small 0-point knife, not going to gather any information. That's actually going to be huge too. This B-site push is something that Cincinnati really loves doing. The dog is going to go in, didn't capture the tripwire there, but it doesn't really matter. Aaron got stunned, was getting pinged by the Hunter's Fury, and then Taka, just to finish it up, make sure that they finally get rid of the Cypher. Maynard rotating around the crate. That's all they're going to be able to take. Just a couple of steps before Dummy rips their head right off.
Aaron is getting absolutely abused on B site, by the way. Like, there's nothing fun about a Jet jumping over your wires and absolutely clapping you with a flash flying in front of the air. It's so difficult to cope with that. And I don't know what Texas State is going to do to deal with this Jet for the time being. Cincinnati's playing true to their roles really well. Taka taking the aggressive approach, does get the one. Nice attempt there from Okarin, but I like the rest of you, Cincinnati, not afraid to peek out and finish up this lovely situation. I'm telling you, man, something definitely changed after these first 2 rounds. Cincinnati came to life on a whole different level.
They've come to life on a whole different level, and now they've also managed to take the lead for the first time in this matchup here in round 7. And so now we're looking at a completely broken economy for Texas State. We're seeing Stingers coming out, so there's not much left that they can work with. And this is going to be another difficult round. This should be a relatively simple one for Cincinnati to convert into their win.
You'd like to hope so. That's the dream, of course. Got to be careful with these Texas State's ultimates, however. Taka taking a look at this ever so successful B-site take again. Wires there. Taka being super aware. Maynard playing a nice close angle this time, though, but it's not with the most optimum weapon. Aaron comes in huge with the Stingers. Damn, this is not the plan. Not how we want to unfold for Cincinnati. A lot of damage done. It's down to Taka now in a 1v2 stuck on site. Owl Drone going to ping it, but this nice pinch from Texas State here could be very detrimental to Taka's positioning.
Taka had to have realized that, but they're not going to be looking towards window. They need to be careful. The bright side that they can look forward to here is that no one has had a chance to pick up a Vandal. Taka's still looking at this B tunnel approach, but they don't realize that someone might be behind them. And this is Texas State playing it so slow. They're going to hear the footsteps. Walking right through is Luke. Taka, you have so much on your shoulders right now. Whipping out the blades once more, but instead Ogren is going to be blinded. But they do not need to see. They do not need sight in order to take this kill and in order to take this thrifty. Texas State, I said it should have been an easy conversion here for University of Cincinnati, but it turns out that it was not going to be easy at all. And I think we could really look at Aaron, who's been struggling, right, Strive, in these first, in pretty much every single round as a Cypher. Yep. But for some reason, you put a Stinger in their hands and they just like destroyed.
And everything about that round from the Cincinnati side was pretty darn good. I mean, Dummy put that same flash out in the air, which is used to blind the region around the tripwire of choice. But it just seemed like you're right, Sam. The Stinger was the diff in that case. Well played from Texas State on a very light buy indeed. Now, having aborted on Plan B with that lovely Viper sit down there. Looks like A is on the menu. The wall goes up here. Fragment gonna go ahead and block off this mid area for the time being. Dummy, the correct pop flash this time, and the conversion for Taka in and out. Rip it and dip it. Cincinnati making a nice entry here onto this site.
Extinguishing it. That recon dart giving the ping just enough information for Luke to be able to land their shots, but now they're alone in this 1v3. A scary prospect ahead of them to try and win. The bullets are still going. The bullets are still happening. The 1v1s are still being isolated. And not only that, but Luke is winning them. Still another potential. The mirror matchup, the 1v1 against themselves. They know where they are. They just need to get it. They need to stick it. And Luke with 4 kills to clutch out this round. What a phenomenal showing from this player. And especially in a moment where they really needed to step up. They did that, Strive, and in spades. And not only that, but now you're going to force out the timeout from University of Cincinnati.
That positioning from Luke, by the way, in that situation was almost like lottery ticket buying level of goodness. Like, the stairs allowed such great isolation for Texas State, for Luke to flex a little bit there. Really good patience on clicking, not resorting to the spray type tactic, knowing that clean tactical fights is what it would have taken to succeed. Cincinnati also came a little bit short on the rip, and for Vulcan being low HP at the end there, that was the icing on the cake. I cannot tell you how much better that round could have played out. It was just super, super nice for them. Now, off to this timeout here, and I'm not surprised to be seeing it, Cincinnati's going to be asking themselves, what happened, right? We had such good momentum. We had a couple of really clean rounds and entries onto B, and now we're just in shambles. Have they learned, and what have they learned, and how can we adjust to that?
Right, you've lost 2 rounds. Not only that, you lost a round in a thrifty. You lost a 1v3. That, in my opinion, is even more detrimental than losing out in a thrifty. This is the moment, too, where potentially taking this timeout could take away the momentum of Texas State University, and I'm actually really happy that we are seeing the timeout in the first place. It's like a plague in collegiate, even just a plague in most forms of Valorant, even tier 2, where teams refuse to take those timeouts. So I'm loving seeing this from University of Cincinnati. I think though that they're playing things well. It's just still the utility usage is all over the place. They're still blinding teammates. They're still putting a lot of pressure on with these blinds that need to be done a little bit better, in my opinion. If they can clean that up, this should be just University of Cincinnati's game.
As we watch Ejectile do some hippity-hoppity activities here on middle. Oh, Corinne, looking like some intel gathering is on the menu. No, gosh, I lied. Nice thing coming out here. And still is able to get one. I do not understand how that's possible with Ejectile sitting at middle. Yes, the blind was there, but there was 2 more at middle as well. So these ones that are being picked up for Cincinnati are problematic, and Texas State's going to have to deal with that. But with A on the menu here, Chief at yellow. Here's the hippity hop carrying as well. Transitioning for the 1. Should be cognizant of the 1 more above, but Dummy's placement, the high ground, comes out supreme for Cincinnati.
Throws off the aim just enough that the adjustment wasn't there. They knew they were coming. They didn't realize how quickly it was already going to be happening. The spike still hasn't been planted. That's going to be changing here in a couple of seconds as Ejectile gets that there. The Hunter's Fury, they get the spike planted just at the last second, but paying for it in blood. Luke, what have you done to them? You can't keep getting away with this. How is Luke doing it over and over again? It's Vulcan by themselves. Can they do the 1v3? No, they can. It's going to be the 1v none. Luke, again, a dominant performance just from this one player alone.
Day in, day out, Luke has been, as you said, stellar. I mean, the utility usage for Luke alone, I think, makes up for the lack thereof from Cincinnati. You did mention some of the lackluster flashes, the less than organized strats coming out from these attackers. Luke's playing that Sova to a T, offering so much gunpowder for the team as well. Sova's a very strong agent. We can't deny it, Sam. And the utility that Sova brings to a game, especially on the defense on a retake, is bar none priceless. But Luke is just so warmed up now, and we're seeing that evolution as these rounds progress. It just seems to be getting better and better and better.
I mean, Luke is meeting Taka in the KD.
Right?
Actually doing better in deaths themselves, just not quite as well in the assist territory. But again, it's just the University of Cincinnati attack. Okay, Chief, that's still a little scary. They walk away with their life. They gathered valuable information, and University of Cincinnati just says full speed ahead. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, they've been spotted out off of Chief's jiggle there, and there's no other map control. Knowing that they can push on to people quickly is the time, but that's a choice. Chief holding firm on the positioning. Viper's Pit is down. Going to go ahead and send a shock dart in. This is Luke for Geometry Maestro. Good on the mouse one, equally as good on the shock darts for the time being now, but patiently waiting for the retake. They're going to have to play this Viper's Pit very, very carefully. And Cypher now joining the party. This is Texas State's time to shine.
Texas State, you got to shine. The Luke drone really wants to make sure they can get this snake out of that pit, but it doesn't go too far before being shot out of the air. The recon dart, however, is going to change everything and flip it on its head. Luke's recon dart. Again, this one player is doing so much for the team. Dummy, that was a really good shot for them. They just weren't able to go any further than that before Maynard denies them everything. This is the Texas State game, it feels like right now, Strive. And this is amazing.
It's hard not to get excited about this Sova. I'm just going to be honest with you, right? And for Sova players around the globe, saving your Owl drone and recon dart, knowing that a Viper's Pit is a possibility there when the round starts, or is one pip away from getting it, is that type of foresight you need to have for a retake. And I think Luke played well to that. Didn't go ahead and dump all the utility right off the rip. Instead, conserved all of it to get some sight unseen damage and reconnaissance done. It's just really nice to see them come together as a team and play their roles down. Let's see how Cincinnati adjusts though. Chief, looking for the pick. Oh, dumpstered by Waldy.
That is everything that Waldy could want and more. University of Cincinnati really starting to find their footing again. This is a perfect round that they're starting to find. A complete site takeover. You take out the 2 that was sitting on there, especially some of the 2 top performers of this team as well. And now the mad dash over onto site to go for that retake in a 3v5. But now you just play for the post plant, and this is going to be perfect.
This looks super nice here. Vulcan's going to have the chance to shine at Sova, assuming they try to tap that bomb now. Okarin on the retake, does have support from the backside. This cave and post-plant lineup situation with Viper, with Nova, with so much on the board is really troublesome. An early pick is going to matter for Texas State, but they're not converting. There's the Hunter's Fury, might as well toss it out there for good measures. Sam, there's still the snake bites coming from a different area code, and that's going to be the conversion for Cincinnati. Really well played, equal bounce back from the attackers.
Sides.
It's a pretty decent first half, all things considered, right? You're 7-5. It was a struggle for University of Cincinnati, definitely, for them to get going. And I think it really does just come back to how they were performing with their utility. The usage of it wasn't quite there, but then it started getting cleaner and cleaner as the rounds were going on. And so now that we're here on defense, things could possibly change. We do have to remember as well, University of Cincinnati chose this map, so they obviously have something cooking for Breeze. Attack faltered a little bit, but here on defense could be a completely different story, especially when you don't have to worry as much about how utility is going to be thrown in versus how you're throwing it out.
So true here, and the early commitment of this Viper wall is going to be that opportunity to get on this side. I'm surprised I didn't see more of this in the previous half, this type of Viper wall split coming out of cave. As much as I love mid, it's a very troublesome area to tame, Sam. So on that note, Keith can go ahead and hit a wire. It gets pinged off. That's Waldy's placement. Really well executed, playing the distance position. And now the rotates are here for Cincinnati as well to support. I mean, this to me was a well thought out retake setup.
Enemy tag.
They knew that Aaron was hiding out in the background. Taka picking up one of their own before finally starting to move their way in. It's going to be the Maynard headshot, but Vulcan, these shots just are not missing. And indeed so, it's looking like the University of Cincinnati defense feeling much more in control of what they were wanting to do. Texas State, they went on to site, but they're kind of grouped up. And you see right there in the eliminations, just stuck on this pyramid.
There's something really magical about a Cypher setup on A that isn't site entry oriented like we saw in the previous half on B, right? Placing those tripwires closer to the plant opportunities is going to give you a chance to get picks both on site on an aggressive position by pyramids or even off site toward doors. I'm still loving what Cincinnati did that round with the placement of Waldy. It's just small bits here, Sam, are the differentiating factors in these matches, and it takes little adjustments and movements to make them count. Texas State, learning, right? We're still early on here. They're going to have to learn the setup of U Cincinnati before they can adapt to it.
I don't want to say it too soon, right? You get these weapons in the hand. I said it earlier and I kind of cast or cursed it, so I'm gonna keep that on even footing. But Texas State already taking some small pings here and there, a lot of damage being done and throwing them off of that site. University of Cincinnati, you see that they're kind of taking some of these aggressive angles, especially if you look at Vulcan inside of tunnel. Once they peek against each other, Vulcan actually is going to outrange against Chief. They didn't pick up the kill on Luke, who was closer to them, but projectile. Marshall, excuse me?
Round 2 Marshall goes hard, Sam. I'm telling you, there's something really fun about it. For those that don't buy Marshall enough, please do. It's really good. And this positioning from Taka, playing the aggressive post, knowing that Waldy's down middle and their support from Cincinnati, is the way to play it now. It's down to the one lonesome Okarin in a 1 versus 3 situation. Low HP, spike in hand, which is an A+, but everything else is going to be immensely uphill from here on out.
30 seconds left.
At the very least, Okarin working towards getting that spike planted, and that's going to be very valuable money in the bank, but you can already see, look how fast they're coming. Taka did not care where Okarin was coming from because that aim is going to be as crisp and as deadly as ever. Spike defused, and now University of Cincinnati looking to tie things up. Not only have they looked, they have made it happen against Texas State.
Now that we start getting to some of these bigger buys is where I'm going to be looking very, very, very closely to Texas State and how they can execute. This is their chance to shine, right? They've had a look at A, they understand how the setup works out, and I don't know if they're going to necessarily want to respect Waldy's placement on that site and look to plant in a different place where they haven't hit wire so far. That's going to be fun to watch. And as we see this huge stack from Cincinnati towards B, I don't know what they're telegraphing minus an aggressive push, but they got a hunch that you and I clearly don't see at this point, or at least I don't see, Sam.
They're wanting to try and take as much rifles off as they can from Texas State. and they're just going to push through, thinking that they might come this way. Instead, it's going to be that them sticking in mid, waiting to see where that Viper wall is going to come up and which direction that they're going to want to be coming through. And you see that right now, you're kind of just playing for pigs. You're kind of seeing if anyone's going to be aggressive or crazy. Neither side is giving any either quarter.
On the plus side, though, for Cincinnati, they've got some good positioning. They had a nice look down B. Didn't get the information they wanted, per se, in terms of seeing individuals, but at least it told them that, hey, yo, things are quiet right now. We don't need to get too aggro right off the rip here. We're going to retreat back and play our spots. On the notion of playing spots, Taka, #1 on that kill feed right off the rip here for Cincinnati. Luke out towards half wall. I mean, that replacement.
Oh my gosh!
What? Huh? What? How does Dummy live through all that?
What a flick from Dummy too, Strive.
Huge.
They were stuck inside of that corner, surrounded on all angles, and no one cleared them out. I think is the most impressive
No more
part.
charges left.
That's kind of like, that corner is kind of a place where you're really going to make sure is clear. But 2 different angles from 2 different sides did not clear them. And Dummy quite literally got away with murder.
The spike is still in base.
Damn, I didn't expect that position to work out for that long. I mean, for the first 1 or 2, okay, but for 3, question marks in my mind. Let's see how Texas needs to just Taka. Up in hand, gotta be very, very careful to not lose that early on. Goes ahead and utilize the updraft and back to safety here. Okran holding that angle. Good patience though here from Texas State. How they choose to execute is what I'm watching. If they want to re-hit that mid area one more time and try and contest that door space too.
I would not be doing this if I were Texas State. You're going to see the Owl drone being pushed forward and maybe perhaps the recon dart in the back line. It's just throwing every single piece over at Taka, but she's still going to try and peek Taka? You're insane! They're Okran to try and go up against the operator. Taka's just not going to miss, and then over at doorway, Waldy doing their job fantastically enough as is, picking up even more kills off the top of it. The Taka Waldy wombo combo of doom and destruction. Waldy doesn't care. They're still going to try and take these peaks. Maynard's going to pick up the 1, but that is it. Taka, the 3K, the operator, God on the field.
Snack time.
As we watch Taka evolve, there's a timeout on top of it. Very, very nice. Taka's ability to float around the map now with that operator, I think is going to be what keeps Texas State guessing, right? They're not going to maybe be expecting Taka to be on A on a consistent basis. And as you watch right now, what's unfolding in front of us is Taka is what's looking like B bound. So if they try and hit that site now thinking that, oh, the op's going to be playing the range position on A, they're going to be met with a lot of problems. What might be their savior is going to be how the Viper comes together with that KO to get the site entry done. So a lot has to work together in sequence for Texas State to be able to get on these sites of choice, or else they're just going to get picked off by these early op shots, which is just detrimental to everything they try and accomplish in these rounds.
I also get that it was kind of an eco round. I was going to go into an ego peak from Okran. It was still, it's just a strange decision, though, to want to push yourself in there and try to take on an operator. I would have felt like the second you knew that Taka was on A with that ump, you get out of there, right? You're still trying to flush him out with utility and everything, but there's really no point to try and fight it if you don't have the weapons to fight it. Go to B site. Go for a better angle. Go for better places. I just do not think that trying to fight against Taka on this operator is the right choice. And you see already that Taka is going to reposition themselves towards mid. I think that someone's going to go out there. So they're really going to have to be careful. The big goal right now for Texas State is figuring out where this op is.
I'm with you 110%. And with Taka now on mid, one of the major choke points with those sight lines looking right down towards door. No utility there early on would, I think, hint Taka that it should be a relatively free space to continue peaking, and the looks are going to be elsewhere on this map. And initially, Texas State caboosed up towards B. They've got mid with some Sova coverage, but that initiator is going to have to get on towards that B site before anything can really unfold. So as we get into closer and closer to Sova positioning, the execute is imminent. We'll see how it works out here and how they can rotate and manage this B hit.
This could be a pretty easy B hit as long as they set things up correctly. You see that they're waiting. The Owl drone is going, but no one's on site, right? And if they can figure that out fast enough, if they can gather that information, the 0-point knife goes through. So much utility is being dumped here. And someone is going to have to realize that. Jectile has to say, hey, okay, maybe something is going on here. especially with how much space that Chief has just cleared. This is going to be spike planted, a full retake from University of Cincinnati. But if you look in mid, Taka's not moving. They're not giving up any space. They're still thinking that someone is going to have to come through this direction, but no. It's just holding on here. And now we're going to see how this site retake is going to work.
This Viper wall, too, is kind of interesting. It's favorable yet unfavorable at the same time.
Taka?
By Taka, translation! No, it was well done and well executed. They knew that they could get the verticality on that one, Pim. And the rest of the team just funneled in like an absolute demon set. Now look at the situation. Taka, taking one all day, every day. Get on the spike. Do what you want to do. Taka's just straight up cooking like a beast here. Texas State fall to bits on that post plant.
Yeah, fall to bits is really the most accurate descriptor that we can use for what just happened in that last round. Texas State had a really good control of the site. You see that happen a lot where teams typically hold in that B wall area, which is why that Viper wall is there. Is to give them cover to be able to get in and really prevent any information from being given as they begin their approach onto that site in actuality. And then you have to give it to Taka somehow walking away with 3, going up into the air. Again, we're seeing how much this player knows how to play the Agent of Jet, and it's working out spectacularly for them over and over, and just how much value they're getting out of this player, out of this agent. Might even get more if they can land the shot.
A lot of respect here towards Nest, though. And you got to be setting yourself up for the trades too, Sam. And I think Texas State haven't been in the best position to trade out, especially on these entries. Cincinnati's passive play style works so well.
Spike down mid.
Like, you can't do anything about that, Sam. A pick and roll with a cloudburst, it's almost as good as a chamber. Like, let's be honest. You're cooked. You're roasted if you're Texas State now.
Speaking of, the fire is just only starting to intensify. You're starting to go from roasted to burned. Okarin's gone. Put this robot back in the tool shed. Luke is going for an incredibly aggressive approach, but Jectile having the read that someone's got to be coming out in this direction. Look at their corners, clearing their angles, and making sure that everything is going to be just fine.
30 seconds
You're in a 2v5. Chief and Aaron are in shambles.
Spike down.
Aaron's going to be able to pick up the one, but the second they walk through, guess what's waiting for them there? A tripwire to stop them in their tracks, and dummy to dig their grave and put them inside of there. University of Cincinnati now only 1 point away from match point, and I want to hammer this point home, Strive. A completely perfect second half so far.
A really good one to talk about too as we finish up this breeze and look to the ascent side of things. Cincinnati definitely understood what this map was about, right? It didn't look, it looked okay on the first half, but being their pick, they're definitely cooking. And it's been part and parcel, I think, to their ability to get aggressive, keep that jet floating, but also be able to not be afraid to give up a site and play a full retake. I think that's a very noble and respectable approach to this map, given the fact that you're also doing a good job of conserving so much of your utility early on to be able to retake. So love it. I think what Cincinnati's done here thus far is showing us what Breeze really is all about.
And speaking of what Breeze is really about, speaking of what Valorant's really about, well, this is really about a gun game sometimes at the end of the day. And for Texas State, they don't got the best guns in the world. But that doesn't stop good teams from being able to find massive value out of even just a classic. Now we're going to see how the Chief engage is going to be. It's going to be scary. That much is for sure. Jectile is waiting for it. The walls are going to come up, but Chief is still going in these weird directions. McDonald's is giving out hamburgers of death right now. Jectile still walking through. Look like Maynard wanted to put up the Viper's pit, but the second they do, it is immediately denied. And I don't know why you would want to walk through your own Viper's screen, but the last one left standing is going to be Aaron. A couple of bullets go out. A couple of bullets hitting a wall, but Vulcan is hitting heads. That is going to be University Cincinnati now on match point.
I think really what it was in that round was Texas State felt a little bit threatened from the retake, and they've had an urge to get some more deeper control and not be punished by the Viper wall that they're subjected to in the previous round. So naturally, I think that led to the push through the Jectile wall, which was obviously met with a clap to the forehead. So the intention was good. The result of it, not the prettiest sugar cookie in the books, but it's an attempt. We'll see now if they can go ahead and bounce back and put a halt to the Cincinnati potential look at the dub here.
Got to try and find something. I think I'd like to see more aggression from Texas State. They go so slow in the early moments of these rounds that it actually gives University of Cincinnati a lot of time to set themselves up. And now you're looking at confidence, Strive. Look at what they're doing. A full 3-stack are going to start walking their way towards CT. The wire is going to give out the information that at the very least someone is coming. And actually, they're not going to take that bait. They're not going to destroy it quite yet. They're going to rotate back over. Even Check-Tile using the operator is still getting kills. I don't know how you get out. Wait a minute, is everyone using an operator? I didn't see the scoreboard. This is insane. Everyone's gonna go and try and revive their fallen comrade. But at this point, the second they try to, Vulcan has set themselves up like a bird, a predator bird to swoop down and take out their target. What? Vulcan is winning in mid with a classic? That's just insult to injury right there. The insult to injury carries forth to University of Cincinnati, 13-7.
Cincinnati just that much more coherent, Sam. I don't know how else to put it. Taka did so much work. They were so respectful on their retakes. They played true to their agents, their own. They had a very well-defined defensive play style, right? There was no, I didn't see too much round-to-round variance in how they were looking to execute and play their side. Overall, Texas State, I think, just got abused, to put it politely. The Cypher didn't bring the value that they were intending to, and they truly struggled on that attack side, gaining reasonable map control with Cincinnati's really patient retake playstyle.
Well, regardless, we're going to see if University of Cincinnati can keep this train rolling for themselves, right? A little bit of a rocky first half for them, but once again, by the way, completely flawless second half of this Breeze map. And so whether or not they can keep that momentum going, or if Texas State can stop this, find out after the break. Coming up of a map 1 win, University of Cincinnati is now looking at a series scoreline of 1-0. And not only that, for their first map, a second half where they showed forth total dominance, Strive. And now for Texas State University, they need to be able to show off some of that dominance as their backs are now against the wall. And Cincinnati is now on the series point, especially when we look towards our next map of Ascent.
I'm very keen to see how the agent select comes out and what type of roles are continued on and built upon and where they decide to make changes. Formulaically, I think there is going to be a very clear difference between how the two maps get played out. The one thing for Cincinnati that I think is going to be a little bit more different on this map perhaps is on the defensive side. I don't think that they're going to be as keen to play retake-esque on Ascent. They should be a little bit more sight forward. For Texas State, however, they had some good moments, Sam. Don't get me wrong. There was really bright, shining moments, but they just got to tidy up and polish the edges a little bit on their executes to really make a solid impact when they get on these, I'd say, much narrower, tighter corner sites. And as we see the agents come out, I mean, all good things across the board, very much what I'm expecting. No huge X factors. Oddly enough, though, I kind of would... not that I'm not surprised, but Cypher just didn't seem like it's it, and neither of these two teams have that in their arsenal. So fun to see the mirror, but I didn't expect both teams to not pick the Cypher here.
It's the KJ potential on Ascent is so powerful. There's so many different ways that she can single-handedly lock down the site. And if you have the good post-plant lineups for her, she can deny anyone from being able to ping the spike, right? Give yourself that little bit extra time to waste away, and that's sometimes the name of the game. And again, if you have the lineups for retaking the site, you can also do damage. You can flush out potential threats hiding behind areas where you don't want them to be. But this is the pretty much the standard typical lineup that we see coming out of Ascent. The one thing that scares me, though, is Taka, right? And not in a bad way. What scares me is the impact that they had on Breeze, right? 24 kills, 11 deaths. And once they got an operator in their hands, it was basically just an uphill battle that Texas State was never quite able to surmount. And so now when we talk about the map of Ascent, another fantastic map for operating jets, for upping jets. And if Taka can have that same performance, that same impact that they had on Breeze, bring it over here onto Ascent, Texas State, they need to understand that you have to give respect to the name of Taka, and you have to give respect to that operator.
110%. And it's going to take a couple of rounds for us to get that op in hand. And I'm just looking at the setup here. Who's yearning to stick their nose in what neighborhood? So Cincinnati, very typical B setup with the Sova, paper mache walls, potential Odin coming out down the line. KJ loves those narrow alleyways, the tiles play, or not tiles play, short play from the Omen. All's good here. Let's see how Texas State can deal with it. The one lurking KJ at middle here is going to be what I have my eyes most set on, and the value that that can bring if they decide to abort ship on this A take, especially here.
All right, we had 0-point knife hitting Taka there. It's going to be no one really able to forward on that projectile. Oh, it was a desperation move to try and get out of there. Taka somehow picks up one, trading it out there. Thankfully, Luke can even the numbers up and bring them into a much better position. This is the Texas State attack that we know and love. Overwhelming aggression, putting the backs against the wall of the University of Cincinnati, and something that we didn't get to see too much out of Breeze. And, you know, you look over at Breeze, you see how Texas State was playing on their attack. I'm going to chalk it up to Strive, just unfamiliarity with it.
Yeah, this situation right now for Cincinnati ain't that great, by the way. I'm just kind of waiting to see what Vulcan's going to pull out of the good old magician's hat. It's not going to be that much here. This one way is just pretty disgusting, too. It's going to make it very difficult for Vulcan to make it up. Tippy-toe is being spotted, and yeah, Texas State. Clean take out of middle, by the way. That focus on pistol towards short is what I love the most about this map. It's a really good place to execute. Gives you a good abort option if you want to go back and hit pizza. And if you need to eject and go completely wrap around through tiles and hit that B site, it's also a good spot to be. So I think from a first-round pistol play, Texas State picked the right alleyway.
Yeah, it was really dangerous where Ejectile had set themselves, and you could see that they were trying to get out as quick as they can by setting up the dark cover to secure their escape while they're trying to shadow step over towards safety where Taka was, but it was just not quick enough. They were out in the open too long where the dark cover didn't do very much, and they'd given away their position that at that point you just spray and pray. And well, guess what? Prayers were answered, Ejectile falls, and Taka may have picked up one, but if you're only getting one, you need to try and get some more than that and even things back up. And that was just Texas State going very fast, going very aggressive. And that's probably what we're going to see here, especially with Chief having the second round Phantom buy.
A little denial of the Owl drone, and along with the tailwind here, Chief, and this is it. You hit that eject button, run away. Good choice from Texas, knowing that they've most likely outed themselves. And you can see there's a plenty of Cincinnati defense already rotated into heaven. Mid, another very strong key choke point on this map here. And Waldy with a short, he's going to have to make a hop out of here. That's going to make an impact close proximity. Vulcan, though, making that classic sting really nicely.
Waldy, you see, they had the idea in their head. They wanted to go full speed as quick as they could towards someone getting in range of that shorty, but no, working against them. You see, I got to give props to Vulcan for being able to pick up a kill on that classic. Now Taka seeing their way towards attacking this site, trying to understand the puzzle that they have ahead of them. Dummy throwing out the flashbang through, but no one to be blinded out of that. And then Taka meeting their end as well. That is going to be the anti-eco one here from Texas State.
Beautiful work there, by the way. I love the mid execute as well. Now, only place I'm waiting to see how it's going to work out is this B hit. Can they make it on site with, I was about to say the KJ, but as I watch this mini-map unfold, it looks like KJ's abandoned and said, you know what, maybe I'm more valuable on an A setup. And that's a good adjustment from Cincinnati, by the way. Being cognizant that A's been a primary focus point for the most part. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can achieve here on round number 3. Default setup, though, here from Texas State is kind of the way you want to play it here in this advantageous position.
Ejectile's not going to waste any time. They're going to push forward. They're going to go for these aggressive angles, thinking that someone might peek on this wraparound through the smoke, but no, Ejectile is going to be denied that. And now we're seeing from Texas State, just they're kind of experts right now, strive at poking towards getting that information. And if they don't get enough, that's when they regroup together and really start playing for that site push as a unit. As you see, splitting off 2 through main, 2 through tree. You're just gonna have to watch out for all that KJ util set up on A.
Oh, this paranoia is so good here. Dummy gonna go ahead and very quickly try and put a stop to the consecutive utility here. Oh, that's nice. That's really beautiful,
One
Sam, for the
enemy remaining.
three-piece combo. Cincinnati, give Dummy a raise, would you, just based off that round? That was well done.
You couldn't have done it any better, right? You knew that someone was coming up because you threw out the 0 point. So you had to be really careful. But Aaron caught out by the recon dart. Another paranoia that comes through and shows them that they are not going to be able to see their own death coming at them a million miles an hour. University of Cincinnati denying the bonus round, denying it pretty convincingly, only losing Dummy, who also got a 3K. So their economy is just fine. The economy of University of Cincinnati doing just fine. But now we're going to see what happens when Texas State gets the rifles in their hands and they can meet University of Cincinnati in these fights.
Fellow viewers, if you're ever put in a position like Dummy was, don't be afraid to pop, flash out, and swing. You know the execute's coming. The paranoia is worn out. You're just having a great time in a close proximity battle. That's the type of aggression you want to be picking as that KO, as that initiator. Initiate your own fight, not always for a team fight. On that now, Texas State here, converging a little bit more towards the B end of the spectrum. Smoke's going to block the major choke points, and good discipline and respect from Cincinnati, not peeking out too far, unlike the previous round where they were very much interested in some strong main control from Ejectile. However, plan B and C is also set up for Texas State with that mid and top mid control as well.
I'm seeing if anyone's going to be bold enough to walk towards those stairways. And Ejectile, you can see the back and forth. They really want to take that peek, but Luke is set up and ready for it. Quick jump peek is going to spot Luke where they were standing. Dark cover is going to go down to deny any more of that information being given as Taka wins out. And not only in a 1, but a 2. Weren't able to find the 3rd, but you did your damage in mid. I don't know about that kind of math, but a 2 for 1 is always good, especially when Ejectile is able to eliminate another on main.
2 for 1 beverages, 2 for 1 shawarmas, 2 for 1 anything is a good deal, Sam. We'll take it all
30
day, every day,
seconds left.
even here on EGF. Down to the last member of the Texas State. I love that nano swarm. Very, very nice here. Going to give Luke the pick, getting closer to that equalizing 2v2. However, with that opening, Texas State knows they got to put that foot to the pedal and hit it because they got 15 seconds to get a spike down and set up for a post.
Standing ahead.
And what's better about that? You took out the
10
KJ,
seconds
so there's
left.
no util that's going to stop you. Good ping from the recon dart. And you did a heck of a lot of damage to Dummy through the wall. Not able to secure the kill, but now we're going to see the shock darts to deny time, to deny them from walking forward. But Luke, so blind, so deaf, so almost dead. In goes the shadow step. Aaron having to hear that. They thought they did. They thought the Ejectile was still going to walk their way through there, but nope, it's just not meant to be. But what is meant to be is Ejectile 3K, and then a defuse from Dummy. Beautifully well done here from University of Cincinnati, and that ties things up.
Cincinnati be that team that can low-key build you a skyscraper with popsicle sticks and no glue. Like, that's the kind of team that they feel like to me. They're just so good at putting these pieces together and responding and not just being backseat drivers on the defense side, right? They're not afraid to get aggro. And Texas State also, smart plays on short. I like the decision they made. Just felt like they didn't have enough time to really set themselves up in great positions. And a lot of very critical utility came up there for Texas State at the right time. Just was a little bit out-defeated and outplayed up by Cincinnati, who also had that very critical Sova alive.
Speaking of which, we have the Op God online once more. Taka in hands of a very powerful weapon, setting themselves up in tree. This is the moment, the do or die moment. That owl drone needs to gather the information that Taka is there with the operator, but I don't think it did. So this is going to have to be good usage of util. Nice paranoia. Taka's still going to take the shot. Not going to back away though. I can't even word right now. There's no way that Taka should have been able to do that, but they did. And still not even going to be blinded. They're going to use flashbangs, but no one is going to go through. It's kind of like a distraction, a mulligan. so to speak. Now we're going to see the site being attacked here on another side, another angle. But Waldy and Jectile, you put two of them on there, they're going to stop everything in its track, and somehow Taka brings out another one. University of Cincinnati showing us how flawless they can be.
Great discipline from Cincinnati on that play, not rotating immediately off the rip. Instead, they had good positioning. And Texas did have the right idea, by the way. The eject button to pizza to market was what I would have naturally done too, right? Running back all the way around to B would have been far too risky, not knowing how much control was gained there. So they went with a familiar area that they had some at least audio cues to work off of, perhaps expecting it to be empty. You just can't stop Cincinnati when it comes to their positioning. They're really, really patient and equally aggressive with the likes of Taka here and there.
I'm liking this. A lot of utility being used. Jectile, you aggressive beast, you. Getting the kill on a Chief. You done your job, you're backing out, and things are glorious. Texas State, without the tip of their spear, trying to figure out where they want to go. Looking like they might make the journey through mid.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you last time, though? Not so great, right? And look at the very early awareness rotation from the Jet. Like standing dead nuts in the middle of pizza or mid alley saying, okay, cross. I dog dare you to cross, right? They do have the Omen available, so if they do decide to hit the tree room, they can, but that's almost 2 telegraphs, Sam. You smoke bottom mid, you rule out the Jet, but now you sold the fact that you might be going A. They could have done it as a fake, but Waldy, huge ping off, 50 seconds. Texas State, I mean, welcome to the shoebox that is known as B. You're gonna have to take it now.
Waldy's just hanging out in that corner, but still Texas State is putting them through the meat grinder. Dummy flashing their way through. Again, these flashbangs from Dummy are so phenomenal at being able to pick up kill after kill. They still have so much to contain their way through getting onto site. They know where that Hunter's Fury is, but they need to win out against the duel and Aaron. They don't make that happen. And now Vulcan alone by themselves. And I think even more so talking about it, Taka, that operator is gone. A lot less pressure here that Texas State is going to need to worry about. This is seeing them on these attack moments from Texas State, how firm they are in control on this map of Ascent.
Very much Breeze-like in what we saw in first half. Texas State, strong moment coming out there. Pushing down sidewalk. I mean, you might as well get the deed done. It ain't going to happen today. Texas State, strong playback. I want to actually, high-key, after this cast is over, watch that round back and just really understand what worked in their favor. I mean, minus them hitting some really good shots, I think what brought them together was the fact that they went in as a large group a bunch of team members at once. There was no isolated picks. There was no opportunity for the Taka to flex. They conserved that utility and smoked off critical choke points and said, yo, site's ours. We're happy to run in there and bully our way through and just ignore these long sight lines.
Bully Texas State. Taka still has that operator getting enough money in the bank to make that happen, but you can tell that Texas State is being a lot more conservative in how they're pushing through. And it was like I was saying earlier, you figure out where Taka is. Once you figure that out, that's where you're going to make your push. And it's kind of working out really well for them.
Patience here for Chief. Bladestorm is hot. Does have trade potential with that Omen. Spike drop top mid gives you some flexibility as well here. How's it going to work out? Who's going to stick their nose out a little bit too far, be the first to the rip? As you watch on minimap, the Aladrone's going to get some critical information. That's going to bait out at least one smoke from Cincinnati to block off that area. With that, you can see KO, flexible, Omen, just debating where in what is the plan right now. Most likely jump peeking middle to get a little bit of intel. Cincinnati, just at this point, kind of twiddling their thumbs, a little bit unsure as to what's to unfold.
I don't blame them either. Neither one of these teams really giving up too much here, and they're gonna rely on Taka. This is very bold move to rely on them. Of course, Taka can pick up one. They still have their dash available for them to get out of there, but they need to be ready for this, because if they don't do it perfectly, someone's gonna be able to make the swing. That's also one of the things that you have to do with an operator. You gotta be quick with it. Taka, first shot goes out. And in fact, actually, the Chief Cloudburst is going to secure their escape through there. But Aaron able to return the favor just in kind. A headshot into Taka's face, and the spike going to be planted with 13 seconds left to go. That was getting tits.
Taka getting frisky with it, paying the price now. Vulcan getting one for the road on the rotate to come in through here. Aaron stuck behind the Omen smoke in B main. Luke and Maynard are on site, which is superbly good, but that means a lot to be wanted from those in main, and you can see the price that you pay separated from your team as Waldy goes bing bong. Here's the paper mache walls of Ascent. Have an Odin for the road. Good plays there for Cincinnati on the retake, well executed. And again, their patience pays off in dividends as they're able to retake together and with so many members alive.
I'm laughing a little bit because we got the wall of the Odin. And the Odin, I think, got 2 kills just through wall banging. Yeah, all right. The Odin is out in the field, and it looks like it's getting massive value out of that as well. Looking back and forth, seeing the economy here for Texas State, it's not in the best of positions for them either. University of Cincinnati has managed to gain the lead once more, but when you think about what we saw on Breeze on their defense, Texas State is doing so much better this time around than what we saw from Breeze. And so now I'm also wondering how their defense is going to be on Ascent, which one of those maps where you really do feel like, as a collegiate player, you should know yourself on this map, and it definitely, and we're seeing that from Texas State.
This 4-1 split here is really, really interesting to watch. I always wonder what this one man out is going to really achieve. I mean, minus fighting for space and giving them a plan to evacuate. Late flank, perhaps, going to be the solution here. Chief, bit of a short cloud burst going to land onto Hell. The entry onto site, it's completely empty. Why are we not surprised? Cincinnati, the retake maestros now. Just going to go ahead and play the numbers. Taka gets 1. And we're in shambles already. It was a really clean site. Take is now already hammered.
Bleeding massively, as a matter of fact. And that lockdown is going to clear their way back onto there. All of Texas State, by the way, in wine. If someone were to get bold and throw out a swarm grenade, that could be scary. That's a really good ping from that recon dart. It's still going to be Vulcan inside of the smoke, but as long as you can throw out the utility, like what we just saw from Okran, picking up a kill on their Molly, the checked out defuse is going to come through and they're going to stick it. It was at that half point. No reason not to. University of Cincinnati just played Texas State like a fiddle.
Yeah, and they played that lockdown really well, Sam. I didn't catch that in the beginning of the round and realize that it was available. I mean, shame on me for not even seeing it mid-round, but that played well into that decision to give up that B completely, or A, sorry, and play the retake strat. It's just another look at what Cincinnati is aware of on the bigger scale of their plays, right? Conserving critical utility, including a lockdown of that type. Coming off that situation, I'm keen to see Texas State recontest middle a little bit more, maybe. Take a look off towards B, perhaps, because A has been a very, very troublesome location for them. They just haven't had much traction on the site take.
No, they haven't, and so, like they're either they get on there and they're just not able to hold it, or they get completely denied. We are seeing them get onto site more and more, but site retake maestros done a perfect movement on fighting against this 1v1 on Aaron and mid, but once Mater comes around and avenges their teammate with that sheriff headshot, it's gonna put that ideation of grandeur to bed. But most important thing is that the approach from Texas State is still slow, how they want to attack it, and the double smokes are going to deny a lot of that pressure. And once it goes away, Jectile is going to start feeling that pressure in front of them. Mater gets the weapon upgrade, but gets out of there just in time. They're still going to go back through, peek their way in, and fight it out. The Odin spam comes in, but somehow Jectile walks away, whistling a happy tune.
A little bit wide-eyed there for a second when I saw that shadow step come on, like, Jectile, hello, where are we going with this? Just getting super aggro with it, but all's good here.
30 seconds left.
Texas State on the A hit, Sam, going off to a different look at it this time. Vulcan in a very precarious spot, still able to convert the 1 now. Still stuck at Jenny, dancing left to right, pigeonhole Texas State members. Can't deal with this. AJ, look at the value, look at the survivability. I mean, you couldn't convince me this is a man versus a wild, because Cincinnati definitely knows how to fend for themselves in the most precarious of spots.
What is it with Vulcans, right? No emotions, all logic, and that's what Vulcan was doing. You have to realize sometimes when you're in these situations that you have to isolate the 1v1s as best you can, and that's what Vulcan was doing. They weren't overextending themselves out from that crate, and no one flushed them out either. There wasn't really very much opportunity for them to be able to, and so Vulcan, like you were saying, it was a pirouette left, a pirouette right, and my word, I need to take dance lessons from them.
I mean, yeah, you take the dance lessons. I'm good with, you know, scouts classes or whatever it takes for me to learn how to survive like these people. It's just different. And then you can teach me after what you learn. I'll teach you what I learned, Sam.
Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. All right.
See how useful we can be.
That's why casters. That's why we work so well together as casters. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta give each other that support line. And speaking of a support line, we're hopefully Texas State is going to be able to find their own support line. But they're paralyzed with fear now, I think. And especially in how they're going to take this A-site push. They're not gathering much information out of this. And you got to see this too with how spread out they become. And once Taka sets themselves up on this angle, if whoever's going to walk their way through, it's going to have to be done with you cannot dry peek this angle. Taka is going to blow you away to Kingdom Come. And right now we're just waiting to see if whether or not this full 5-stack push is going to be able to make that happen. Taka misses the shot. Gets out with 17 HP, but that is what we needed to see.
30 seconds left.
Projectile, this is a choice. Look at the power coming up from this Omen. Where's the rest of the crew? Where's the Sling? They show up out of the smoke now. Oh, the conversion doesn't happen. Waldy there. You could change Waldy's name to the janitor at this point. Beating up shop there with that Odin Okrin in a good spot coming off the step now. Time is not in a great spot. Pop flash here. Dummy. Dancing. Here's Vulcan. That's good for the one. 8 seconds. You gotta play the time here, Dummy. He does.
He's gonna pull out the class out. No way!
Stop.
Okrin had to clutch it and did it with a classic. These classics are built diff in this series. Strive. I think that's twice now we've had a clutch round. At the very least with a classic involved. I don't know how these players do it, but that is something that Texas State needed to do. And it's going to stop the hemorrhaging that we've been seeing from them a little bit. And even through them winning that round, though, the economy is still not in the best of shapes either.
Nuts. So nuts with it. Taka is a right-click quick-scoper from the looks of it. Shows a lot with the playstyle. Being quick and out now. Chief here.
Oh, no.
Dash you wanted, but we'll take the side entry nonetheless here. Vulcan's back to flag and going into the first piece across their position. Not so positive, but Maynard occupying the janitorial role of that round, getting twos while the Hunter's Fury expended early on. Not going to be available for the post plant. We'll see here with an Omen still alive. You couldn't ask for a better retake for Texas State. As well with theirs.
He couldn't. Oh, Taka. And Into the Shadows going to get the information of where they are, realizing that it has to be some sort of heaven push, but this patience from University of Cincinnati to regroup together and take this engagement as a team. Dump all of the utility, figure out where everyone is going to be, and then set yourself up. A good little bit of information given. Okrim going over, placing Taka. Full speed ahead to presence the W key. Maynard in hell picks up the 4. Again, these players doing these heroics. And now all you really need to do is just go back and forth, throw Waldy off their game. You don't even really need to take this engagement. You don't need to take this fight. It's going back and forth. Oh, they reload. Waldy's going to do the full reload and still gets the kill. They don't have enough time, so Aaron did their job. I'm still going to feel for Aaron, though,
Last round
Strive, because they missed those shots. I feel.
The way Aaron played that post, though, especially with that final wide slash Ferrari peak coming off the corner, was the way to play it, just to be the bait. I think one more wrong giggle and you would have paid the price on a quick look at that spike. Down to the wire has this game been, and despite turbulence, I mean 3 consecutive, you do see little pips of Texas State coming to life here, Sam. Tenacity is on max right now in this game. They're holding steady, and that's what Ascent's about. A really nice, fun back and forth map that you can adjust and learn to work with as the game progresses. Whereas I find that to be a bit more difficult with Breeze to tame as you start to kind of lose traction and your footing in a matchup.
Oh, wait a minute here. Could be happening. This is actually brilliant from Texas State and how they take these engagements. They don't go too fast, but you also see that Okrin is not going and taking these ego peaks by themselves. It's still, though, I think, something that could be, if Taka can pick up here, you might be seeing that ego peak, but no one's going to be able to trade them out if they fall. But they're sticking close to the wall, and they're not giving Taka too much of a chance here. Chief, you're going to have to... You got to land these shots. You cannot give Taka the opportunity to walk away here. Someone's got to use some utility. Aldrone, something. You got to give that information.
This is a heck of an angle, by the way. So susceptible to problems!
Wow!
Dude, I'm telling you, Taka's diff with that right-click scope spot, but nonetheless, conversion to the rest of Texas State was very, very strong as well. That flash in, going to support the take-on through. Spike planted now. Waldy on short. We got a nice little pinch coming out from Heaven and True Room. Is it going to be good for Cincinnati to make the magic happen?
We're gonna see University of Cincinnati. The retakes just haven't been hitting quite the same. Oakrin throwing in the pop flash inside of the smoke, taking a page from Dummy's book, but Waldy was already right there, set themselves up with the Odin, and is gonna rip Oakrin piece by piece. Projectile on top of Ginny. A really nice shadow step, but still needs to clear out Hell. Aaron rectifying the mistakes of the shots they had in the previous 2 headshots with them, and then Luke to take out Projectile, as it is once again a 6-6 first half.
Of overcoming turbulence, Sam, and anything in life, I think is facing the demons and the evils straight in the face, right? I think what Texas State really did in the last 3 rounds is they really came to life in the sense that they were not afraid to take fights with Cincinnati, right? Ataka's not going to scare me, right? I'm not going to let a Projectile or a Waldy with their utility getting, you know, they held firm on their positioning and they took fights and they played more forward crossfires and were also much better on their team cohesiveness. It felt like they were united is what I'm trying to really say on this Ascent map. I didn't feel that warm fuzzy feeling on Breeze to put it, you know, as a cohesive state.
I really do agree with that. And once again, it goes back to, I think Texas State is more familiar with Ascent. There's a lot more comfortability on this map, right? It's Ascent. So Breeze being new, probably haven't scrimmed on it too much, probably haven't come up with too many strategies. And I think for as well as Texas State did 13-7, right, it's still something to be really, really proud of. Clearing out wine, always a smart thing to do. Maybe walk away with a bottle. Chief still in hell. There's no escape vector for them. Even with that dash up, the only way they could have gone is the other side. And Projectile, that's just going to be easy pickings for them. Same could be set for Waldy with their 2K, a spike being planted, and Luke caught up mid.
Yeah, problematic. Ooh. Oh my days, that's an absolute shot and a half with the classic. Aaron solidifies the 1. Still got 4 more to here. Doors closed, and a Vulcan is there behind said closed doors to deliver you a classical welcome to the underworld. Going to be Cincinnati. Nice play. I mean, super lively on that attack round.
Yeah, and I think there may have been some slight miscommunication with what happened on Texas State, especially at that last moment. Vulcan had pushed themselves into tree, killed out on Luke, and then Aaron wanted to go for the gun upgrade, and that's what did them in. And they probably would have fallen regardless in the 2v1, but still would have been able to pick up another kill. It's more money in the economy, more money in the bank. Still not the best round for Texas State all in all, but University of Cincinnati showing their chops on defense. Okay. Showing their chops on attack, rather. Sorry.
I was gonna say, speaking of chops, oh! Dummy with the fadeaway attempt, gonna get slam dunked by Oakrin. These classics, you're right, Sam, are on a different level. A lot of good trades, though. Nice liveliness there towards Wine. 3v5 or 3v4 situation now. Spike in hand, gonna be left in Wine alone. Crossfire held, but this is a troublesome spot to be in for Cincinnati. You're down numbers, and you don't have you have a double initiator situation, which is really fun. But what do you do with it thereafter? I don't necessarily know.
You're down numbers, and what's even more detrimental is this is happening in your buy round. They're trying to decide what they want to do, but instead huddled in Wine is the spike. And so my guess is they're going to try and make noise through this tree tiles approach, or make noise on B and give the opportunity for Vulcan to be able to execute onto site. But no, we are going to see that tree push. It's still slow goings, and you only have 20 seconds left, so this execute is going to have to be fast.
Last player
Very
standing.
fast indeed now.
Chief?
Speaking of fast, Chief fast on the mouse 1 with the Sheriff in hand now. Vulcan, 11 seconds in the
10
green.
seconds left.
Here it goes down. I'm going to give you some good information about that. Owl drone going to be detrimental, at least for the time being. Going to buy a little bit more opportunity for KJ to join the party from Texas State side. Vulcan's got to isolate here and have to convert a pick or two, or else a pinch action
One
can
enemy
happen. It
remaining.
ain't going to be fun, and that's how you do it. We get the 1v1, Sam.
And Vulcan has the Vandal. Still has most of their shields, has most of their health. Aaron is going to sneak their way onto site. This could just be a simple game of timing, but Aaron Carter there is going to need to retreat over to Ginny, pinging the spike. They're still gonna put their mark. They're still going to stand tall. The alarm bot is going to be triggered, and there's the swarm grenade. Vulcan, nerves of steel. Nerves that cannot be broken, but still not what you want to have. in that buy round, in that anti-eco round. The anti-eco going massively in favor here for Texas State. You can see that being reflected in the buys that they're kind of having to make right now. Not the best in the world.
I will say, however, Sam, if you're still interested in dance lessons, I think Vulcan is going to be a great instructor, showing us how to move around those sight boxes and make it sing ever so nicely. We'll see how it works out, though, with Cincinnati. They're picking up some steam. They're looking a little bit better now. But the damage done, as you mentioned, financially especially, is going to be painful. You're going to have to cope with that for at least a round or two and at least win the rounds to be able to convert some finances their way to maintain stature here.
Backing off for a second. Taka can be delayed. Ooh. That recon dart giving out such good information. Taka up in the air. Didn't dash into the corner, and that's just going to be them ripping their wings right off. Thankfully, Projectile was able to get some trades, but again, that recon dart pinging out what looked like 2 players, knowing where they kind of are, but not capitalizing on that information that they can spread out and set themselves up in different positions. But the Maynard shots are precise, they're surgical. Most importantly, Strive, they're deadly. Now we're looking at 2v3.
One enemy remaining.
The right idea from Projectile, getting the one. Look at it equalize. A low HP situation in heaven. But alas, the conversion, the support from Aaron is just that much more delicious. Texas State, it's tit for tat. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They're really picking up steam when it comes to picking fights, Sam, and that's going to be the determining factor, I think, for the rest of this entire matchup. Can Texas State win their ones? Can they continue to be confident and take a peek and not look to get walked over by Cincinnati, who, when given an inch, honestly, they take 50 miles with it. So this is the point for a defensive team. They're going to have to play a little bit more aggressive than what they're typically used to, and especially in those rounds that didn't convert their way.
Exactly. Also, beautiful communication on A between Maynard and Aaron, because had Aaron not made that swing, it would have been so much more difficult for them to get the kill, but they did it at just the right time. They got their shots, they blew it away, they secured the round, they stopped the bonus, most importantly, and Chief is still doing wonders on the Sheriff. By the way, Chief on the Sheriff has been...
You should run.
A harbinger of death, so to speak.
My ult's not ready.
Lockdown now also invested, or not also rather, is invested to get this B site cleared up. Chief playing the wings, patiently waiting, Bladestorm in hand, but I like the discipline, not trying to be the hero, instead looking to get support from the rest of the team here. Going down, Projectile got it in a corner that is all fun and dandy, but you're not getting out of that site here, Sam. They're absolutely stuck here and having to play very precarious angles off each other.
All right, all running up mid. That paranoia is going to catch all 3 of them inside of their Chief. Is going to try and updraft to find their safety, and Waldy is just going to put them in the meat grinder, and Taka is going to join in on that as well. You've seen it done here by University of Cincinnati. The site retake is just not possible, it feels like, against this team. Not when they're firing on all cylinders just like this.
That, my dear friend, was an MVP of a paranoia on site, by the way. Projectile got a 3-man blind, bought so much time, and the beauty of a paranoia on sidewalk like that is it's not an angle that you can still attack on as the one that has been hit by the paranoia. You're coming around a blind corner with that wall there, which is in the advantage of Cincinnati and the post plant, who are playing the long distance positions. Just so well done, conserving that for the long run and understanding its value. As they start to pull away now, Texas State here, how do they deal with it, man? I don't know. Cincinnati, just when things get tough, they definitely tough it up and get going.
Vulcan needs to be careful. Luke knows on the other side of the smoke. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't blind fire through it. But the second that smoke dissipated, Waldy sees an easy target. And not only that, but it's an easy kill to go along with it. Oh, wait a minute, but this Maynard smoke. This is the assassination attempts that we need to have, and Maynard's just going to keep firing through it, but Waldy is going to make that trade happen. Chief on the flip side is going to even out the numbers once more as we see the 3v3, but site still hasn't been taken yet.
Oh, plenty of time here. Chief blocking off the odd ends of heaven to hold it off, and still connects on 1s and 2s. The crosshair placement from Chief is so good. I mean, dude, how do you continue to have such tenacity in these rounds? You get blown apart by Cincinnati, and then all of a sudden you come out with that type of shot from Chief. Just such a strong, cohesive unit.
And Chief's also been kind of quiet tonight. You can look over back at Breeze, an 8-19 scoreline for a Jet. That's rough, especially when you look at Taka, who went 24-11. But Chief, I think, has kind of been the determining factor in a lot of these rounds with some of the shots that they're making, especially on this Sheriff, where you're like, okay, a Sheriff shouldn't technically be doing this, but it is. When you look at the guns that University of Cincinnati is packing. Chief really stepping, really coming into their own in this defensive half for Texas State. They just need to keep that momentum going. They're one round away from tying it here. Cincinnati, though, still has the economy to buy guns. They still have the economy to give themselves a lot of survival throughout the rest of these rounds.
And timing is king here, I think, for Cincinnati on their aggression, right? As you see the noise made or the step made on B, quickly pulling a smoke over from that Omen and shifting the look towards tree area, expecting a rotate, perhaps through tiles or mid. This is the chance now for those folks at long to make an impact, but you also have to be super aware of the fact that there's a Jet lurking. And the moment that op peeks its nose, Sam, from Texas State side, I think is the time for Cincinnati to say, all right, gas pedal, we got to make a move now if we're going to make it past these duelists.
Yeah, and they see the dark cover go down, so once it appears, get away, regroup, and then go for that fast approach onto A, and I think that's what we might be seeing here very shortly. It's going to be Chief alone, though, on this heaven position that's going to have a world of trouble ahead of them. They're also going to be hit by the 0-point knife, so no dash, blinded, everything else to go along with it. Thankfully, you have Maynard there. He landed headshots just like that. Basically, aim labs training them is all it is. Still, the spike is going to be planted. Now we're going to have to see if the Texas State retake is going to be there. Oh my gosh. The Ocarin judge passing judgment on Ejectile. Guess what? They're guilty.
Knocked out so well and being patient on it, though. Waldy looking to isolate some more ones. Not able to transition as Aaron from above with Luke come out hot. Down to dummy now. 1v2. The jiggle on a dance. Stuck in hell. Ocarin swing. Luke, nice support. That is how you work as a cohesive duo for Texas State. That's the round equalizer, 9-9. You gotta love moments like that where you're like, why is that person still on short? Like, can we all just please get on site? But that's the stuff that matters. Those one odd kills here and there, Sam.
Now we're looking at a tight scoreline, Strive. So
we are.
Texas State making it work for themselves, figuring out the strategy that University of Cincinnati has been throwing in their face. And for University of Cincinnati, a lighter buy, going with Sheriff's Light Shields. We do know that University of Cincinnati, if you give them the opportunity, they can still make these guns sing. But we're going to find out if they have the chorus. It's going to be a screeching violin.
I'll be here. Going to go ahead and very much look to be that violin holder, the maestro, the composer to lead the way through as we watch the POV of this Cincinnati take onto site. Big fragment to the back. Going to get absolutely slamma-jammed. Taka being the catalyst. Cincinnati say, yo, we're going to the market today. And it involves a B take after that.
Okay. It's still a 2v4. And they have to go up against it. Taka has that 3K. Being brought down, that's the only case that they're going to be kid. Ting, and now by themselves is Chief alone in a 1v2. Backing away, the dash almost could have been detrimental had Dummy not been ready for them in their eyesight. But the flashbang is going to happen, the double swing!
Beautiful.
And guess what? University of Cincinnati just composed their ballad. Their ballad of death. Now 10-9. Really good thrifty round from them. And that's what I'm saying. Right, Shrive? You can never discount these teams. And the difference here, I think, that really worked for University of Cincinnati, you saw how quick they went, right? It was so fast. It was blazing speeds.
And that's the catalyst, I think, for a lot of success on Ascent especially, right? Very fast, cohesive rounds and not giving up ones is a really fun way to get around. And part of that was shown even on the post plant, right? Double swing. Don't be afraid to get your nose out there with your teammate and communicate that out. And on that note here we go with the KO entry onto that B site. If you want to go fast, no better time to do it than with the KO leading the charge.
No, they're not. And again, we're seeing a trailblazing path being laid down by University of Cincinnati. Site has been fully cleared. Vulcan is going to plant the spike. Now we're going to see if maybe this actual position that Projectile has put themselves in is going to protect, especially that flank, the 2-member flank that's about to hit them really hard. Chief is already going to open things up, finding the first blood on Projectile, make that a second kill for them as well to go along with it. Dummy trying to buy themselves a little bit more time and gets rid of the 0.9. Molly goes down, but we're seeing the lockdown here, and that's actually going to be a really good lockdown. But answered in kind here by this Hunter's Fury is going to take it out. Dummy and Waldy. If these two need to do it, well, guess what, Strive? They're going to do it, and University of Cincinnati solidifying that lead now 11-9.
You gotta love watching the minimap, by the way, in some of those situations and looking at the sightline colors and just looking at how much is being covered from a single player and how supportive they are of each other. It's constant left to right, like wagging their mouses. Everyone's ready to snap at a moment's notice, and that's what makes Cincinnati just super fun to play, super fun to watch, and that's what makes them such a good team as a whole. Texas State just they have the right idea, but it feels like Cincinnati are just that much more behind each other on these retakes, or on these first plays rather.
And we're looking at a small, slower approach here from University of Cincinnati. Might be feeling a little bit of pressure is getting closer to them as the match point is within sight. They don't want to lose sight of it just yet. You see, they're jump peeking. They're trying to gather the information. They know that Okarin now, the crates, could throw a molly there maybe to flush them out, and Okarin's going to recognize that, back off towards hell, making sure they don't get caught out. University of Cincinnati, they do go for these peaks. They do go for kind of trying to gather that information, and once they do, you go for the full regroup and then the full attack.
Silence. The orb is going to be the first indicator that there's some presence around. Owl drone as well here, but they block off main. Give it to me. I want to see this KO flash through in the full 10. Starts off with the Hunter's Fury and a Maynard pick. The information's been gathered. Cincinnati's been outed, and they're going to get swung on, but Taka converts. Okarin pays the price.
Okarin does pay the price, and the lockdown is going to be just that little bit more of an expenditure here to make sure that they can actually get there. Chief feeling on their toes, getting burned just a little bit, but even throughout all of that, the aim is still going to find its target. Taka's going to respond in kind as these jets are starting to go a little bit crazy. Chief only had the last blade in hand, but is still going to get the headshot onto Taka. Not going to go too much further than that. Maynard, 3K, Texas State, now in the double digits themselves to stand tall with University of Cincinnati.
I'll give Cincinnati a big W for being committed to that situation, despite it being less than favorable. With Maine smoked out and that wide swing coming out from Texas and getting that information, they were sold. And for them to really stick true to that play, I would have rather them back out, to be honest with you, Sam. But take it in stride and see how they can deal with the next round up ahead. Waldy in a precarious spot financially. Actually, going to go ahead with the Bulldog buy, not even get a bit of a helping hand from Dummy. Close though, very, very close. This has been the theme this entire set matchup.
It really has been. It's been a back and forth, haymaker after haymaker being exchanged between these two teams. University of Cincinnati obviously still has the edge on that score line, and economically speaking too, there's a lot going in favor of Cincinnati that Texas State still has to try and overcome. This team is proving that they do have the grit to try and stand against them. And even more so when Okarin stands against Vulcan and comes out the victor. It's these early picks that University of Cincinnati keeps suffering that they're just not able to equalize out on just yet. Maynard, though, pinged out by the recon dart and flash as well. The paranoia is still there. Gonna see an opportunity to make no way that they are able to get their gun out just in time and take out Taka to go along with it. Projectile, the lone survivor to tell the tales of horror that just happened to their team, needs to win out in a 1v4. It's not gonna be easy.
The Cincinnati that I've seen before, Sam, would have probably swung out of main and gotten Maynard one way or another, whether it's through tree or main, but there have been 2 crosshairs on that individual. That's just not happening. They're leaving a lot of ones on the table, and Texas State at this point are just winning them. There's no complicated recipe here at this point.
No, it's not. It's pretty simple, right? It's a simplistic idea. Sometimes that's what Valorant operates best at. Wouldn't be surprised if Projectile's trying to save here, but I guess they don't really care that they're getting shot at from behind. They're more worried about someone swinging onto them. And I guess they realize that if it's air on, their heads are going to be perfectly intact. And Projectile making that right call, knowing that someone's in tree.
10 seconds left.
Okay. You're going to get a kill there, and you're going to be able to save your gun. Right call here from Jectile. Continue that momentum going forward. And if you look at the credits they have too, this is the right play. They're going to go out, full shields, still have their gun. The only thing they're going to have to get is that utility, which is just the Paranoia, Shadow Step, and 1 Dark Cover.
Jectile assuming a little bit of dominance with that final pick, and here comes the timeout now. Conversations to be had for Cincinnati and Texas State. I, at this point, Sam, don't have any notable comments to add, -1. Texas State plays their best when they get opening picks and play confidently. Cincinnati plays their best when they do the exact same thing. So what is the result of that? I don't even know. It's just going to be a matter of who's going to have the bigger cojones to make the first move and continue to pressure the opposition.
Well, we're going to have to find out. University of Cincinnati, though, I love this timeout from them. They see that Texas State is now 11-11 at that similar footing. And for Texas State being their own map, this is still kind of a rocky footing for them to, even if they win out on, the University of Cincinnati has been able to, at the very least, meet them at this 11-11 and go as far as they have. But now they need to have these discussions about what's happening with the economy. They still have this round to be able to ride it, but then you go into match point, and that's just going to bring even more pressure, as even if you do win out in the next one, right, or the one after that, you're going to be brought into overtime. So this is kind of the do or die round for University of Cincinnati. And if there's any team that can do it, it's going to be them.
Well, boy, I'm with you. I'm on the same page, Sam. We both seem to be aligned for the most part, but are these teams themselves aligned across each other and between them as well? Looks like A is going to be the play. Keep it simple. Hit up Alpha. Look at the caboose here. The resistance from State. Early fragment, early Sova utility used, and it's going to full stop for the time being. But Cincinnati, very much like before, they like this A site, and they seem very interested in pressuring it further.
And that 0 point's going to gather a lot of information that they're still kind of stacked in this A main. It could be the decision of whether or not they're going to be scared, but now we're going to get the 0 point expended. Chief is just running them down one after another, just continuously pushing themselves forward. Information can kind of be gathered right there, but Jectile's going to try and Shadow Step in, thinking the Paranoia is going to get to that cover, but none to be found. Waldy alone with 5 HP. Dummy finally is gone out of there, so no more sight lines on this main approach. And now they had to try and go get the spike. They had to try and win in a 1v5. Spike's right there. They know that Waldy's still close with that 0 point knife. You use the out drone, you start dumping utility. Maynard doesn't need no stinking utility. They got the mechanics, they got the aim. And Texas State, more importantly, has match point.
Interested to understand, if we ever get to the point, why Cincinnati decided to absolutely slam a jamma on A, where I think a lot of their prowess was shown towards their mid and B control. They had such good placement just a few rounds prior on the post plan on B. They did a really good job of catapulting through market and middle that I brought up a few rounds as well. I just felt like I've said, you know, yay to B and nay to A more often than not. So hopefully this round is that opportunity to equalize. It might be too little too late, though.
We're going to find out if it is too little too late. Cincinnati, like you were saying, we've seen a lot of them on B, and now we're seeing fast. This is what I want to see from this team. Go as quick as you can on B. Perfect flashbang. Bataka! They missed the shots. They tried to dash, but it's going to be into the wall instead. It's going to be up to Jectile and Vulcan to make those trades happen, and the numbers are going to be equalized back out. Side B take is going to happen, but Jectile missing out on these shadow steps. You're starting to see that Cincinnati is a little wobbly, but thankfully not wobbly enough that they're going to fall, and they're not going to go down on a scent without a fight. Spike is going to be planted, and now the retake's going to happen here. Dummy in logs. Going to be up to them to really find massive picks here.
Sold him as Jet. Gets the one. Looking to confront the headshot. Most of the crowd's not able to get there, but that is the redemption for Cincinnati on that play. Take us over to OT. That initial look on market was honestly like a novice stilt blocker trying to get those 2 picks, but they weren't able to converge, and I am so happy that the remainder of Cincinnati was solidified those last 2 picks there coming out from market. Wipe the sweat off your brow, Sam, if you're as chopped up as I am, and yeah, dude, I'm if these teams aren't, I am. This is a really, really good even matchup.
I'm sweating right now. I'm feeling the pressure here, and I'm sure both of these teams really are starting to feel it. We're gonna see which one is gonna take that pressure and become a diamond out of it, though. University of Cincinnati on the defense, and we're going to see if the Texas State attack is going to be just as good as it was in that first half, which, by the way, 6-6. So I guess not really. Okay, first half. okay first half for both of these teams. And we're going to see Taka take an early aggressive angle on this A archway. 0-point knife, I think, catches both the Jet and the KO. And this is going to be the tiles approach from Texas State.
It's a good vibe. Chief here, leading the charge. Projectile, big paranoia. Did we get the swing? No, instead it's the paranoia to safety. I'll buy it. Safe smoke coming out as well. I'm gonna go ahead and pigeonhole them, and that's what you like to see. It gives Vulcan opportunity to make some magic happen.
I love that. They were inside of market. They're going shopping. They're picking up so much groceries. Vulcan now 3 kills on the board. Knows that Chief is right there. Projectile playing it patiently. Vulcan's not able to convert another one, but knows that 2 has to be here. The rest of the team right there. The Shadow step forward. But Chief's going to pick up that information that Projectile's still hanging out, still watching, but you need to cover your back. You need to cover your flank. Otherwise, Projectile is going to come up and rip you to pieces. Now alone in the 1v3, University of Cincinnati, showing us exactly what they're made of.
30
Big problems
seconds
here
left.
for Maynard. Very turbulent site take incoming. I mean, the plant will be cool, but the rest of it, it's going to be a little bit painful, Sam.
Cover going out.
Oh, it's going to be very painful for Maynard. They only have 58 HP. They're going to hang out inside of the smoke. And then they're going to meet Projectile kind of in an isolated 1v1 that Projectile is not going to lose. Not when so much is on the line here for University of Cincinnati. And this is the team that we know, the team that we love, doing what they do best, and that is winning out in these rounds. But Texas State is still not out of this just yet. They have one more opportunity to try and tie things up and bring us into double OT.
Opportunity has been the name of the game for this series so far for both these teams, especially on Ascent. There's been moments of highlights on Breeze. There's been moments of glory on Ascent as well. Where's the look, though? We're going off to my site, Sam. A breath of fresh air for me. B was where it's at, I think, for the Cincinnati attack. See what they can make happen here.
They're gonna have to make something happen. Oh, Taka wanted to do something. Thought they got the headshot into Aaron, and it's just gonna keep dashing right into their bullets. And then Aaron, guess what? Bonks another one right down into the ground. And so 3 left alive for University of Cincinnati. It's gonna be a tough mountain to go against here, with Texas State operating at peak efficiency.
Oh, Grin.
Molly.
I was watching that fragment. Does get off Projectile there. That's a big, huge. That's a mega problem now. Cincinnati, a little bit weaker on the attack side, we'll say so.
Just a bit. Their defense very impressive. Their attack, not so much. Not so much. But that's the thing about these double overtimes. Remembering what can be done. Dummy showing us what might have been able to be done until Luke brought them to their knees, and now all alone in a 1v4 is Vulcan. And really at that point, even if they're able to plant the spike, you just swarm, you dump util. There's so much that they have to be able to use. But Okarin has the sights on main, has the sights on Vulcan, has the kill there.
Switching sides.
This is double overtime strive.
And I sense more for some reason in the tank. I'm not convinced that double is the answer. I'm taking the coffee. Double. I don't think my game's double. It's all or nothing here. We'll go the distance. Where'd we go, Sam? Where are we at? Where's your head at right now with what you've seen so far in this matchup? Where is the edge? I truly feel that Cincinnati's edge is lying on their defense. They're just not as put together on the attack.
It's some minor missteps, I think, in how they're using their utility, right? We saw that from Taka dashing right into Aaron where they thought they may have gotten the kill. But you're really going to have to see them being careful again for Texas State on their attacks, which has also been kind of weak. Oh, a beautiful flashbang. That's going to be done there. Dummy's still going to take the swing, get the pick off. Stuck inside of hell, but has the utility to bail themselves out. That's exactly what we're going to see. And this is, again, the University of Cincinnati defense. So strong. So magnitudinely, I made up a word there, powerful. But Aaron, they still need to be brought down. It's not over until this final player has been eliminated. Out goes the swarm grenades. Aaron gonna take a massive amount of damage. And then there you have it. Vulcan cleans it up with a 3K. And that is 14-13. University of Cincinnati at that double OT match point.
Cincinnati have definitely been attending English clash. I mean, that was an absolute full stop of a round. They shut down that A site like nothing, like it was drinking water for them. And that's been the common theme for me. I'm telling you, there's something different about Cincinnati on defense. When they get to attack, it's like they just can't translate that same play style into something meaningful on a round. I think where they did do well is when they had some lurks happening, but successful ones, right? Projectile going short and getting Okrin in the face is not it. But when they did take an A site, had a late surprise from Projectile, for example, that's, I think, what yielded them really good success and opportunity. It's coming down to tit-for-tat battles here.
It really is. All right. Up through tree. Up through tiles, Maynard all alone. Here it comes, throwing out the paranoia. They got to be ready for this every single time. They've been found out, but the recon dart doesn't matter. Even if you're blinded by that near sight, you're still going to be able to ping where Maynard is. Now another flash is going to be answered in time, but hell, Okrin finds the one, but not going to be able to go too much more. No more gas left in the tank. University of Cincinnati is going to execute onto site, get the spike planted, but through the smokes, through the wall even. Chief is going to get the headshot onto Taka. It's a 3v4, but the advantage kind of still in University of Cincinnati's favor.
Texas defense also are very good at walking that very fine line between, you know, life and death. And Chief is an example of that. And look at the convergence here. It comes out again for Texas State. They are the Cincinnati of this match from the previous half as well. They hop on that defuse. I told you, Sam, it's not going to be a double. We're going to triple. We're going to quadruple. We're going the distance.
Yeah, chat, I hope you're ready for this because we are now into triple. Yes, that's not that is correct. You are hearing that right. We are now in triple overtime. Both teams sitting at 14-14. Neither one able to find the lead against the other. Neither one able to stand and show us which one is going to be the victor. Of course, with Texas State, this is even more so something that they need to win out on. Otherwise, Cincinnati is going to take this series.
Yeah, both these teams, like at this point, it's very, very interesting, Sam. Cincinnati's got a strong defense. Texas has also got much of the same resolve here. Just feels like the attacks are lacking on both ends of the spectrum to a certain amount.
Okay, Waldy,
how do they tame the beast, though?
That was a little scary. This is what needs to be answered. Triple overtime is never easy to be able to tame a beast, especially once fatigue starts setting in. This has been a long, long game. And so either team, the mistakes are going to be magnified tenfold. Chief not going to find too much mistakes as those cloud bursts do go down. Taka hit with the paranoia, blinded, but maybe Waldy could turn things on its head using this Odin. It's just spraying down lane, but Luke was ready for it. And you saw that Ferrari spray to answer back in kind against the Odin spray. So much damage being done, and that's going to be Texas State. Just playing.
No more.
Maynard early patient there. Nice positioning with B main now. Cincinnati down to 2. Coming up from the back end. Dummy pop flash on through. No one's in the close proximity. Counter flash. Take the battles. Look for the dubs. Down to Dummy now. 10 HP in a dream. Has to clear sidewalk, and the sidewalk is met by a hooded demon of Maynard. It's going to be Texas State converting that very, very important attack round here.
Match point.
This is their chance. They showed us what they can do on attack in the previous OT. Let's see if they can bring it back one more time. Cincinnati, historically, a little bit lackluster on the attack side. But I think where they're going to be able to shine and be able to manage how Texas plays on their defense is to be a little bit more cautious themselves, right? Texas will take a battle, but they're not going to go ahead and contest more than they can chew in a single bite. That's, I think, the critical approach here for Cincinnati as well, to really be aware of what battles they can and can't win and to play into those.
Exactly, and somehow Texas State has been reading into that very well themselves. And also these gunfights going more in their favor. Cincinnati's being caught out in some really awkward positions too, where Texas State kind of just converges on them. And this has also been kind of the story of the evening, that Texas State has been rectifying a lot of those, where we saw a lot of hero plays that are just the one player going by themselves. That's not happening very much anymore. Now we're seeing a clear through market. This has worked out so many times for University of Cincinnati. Era not flush out of market, flush out of mid, needing to go back towards main, inside of CT. Blind firing through the smoke, but the Molly's going to stop them down. And again, we're seeing the Odin only able to pick up one kill before Dummy trades it out onto Luke.
Cincinnati really played that super well. Good isolation of angles. See what I'm telling you? The Jectile Lurk is what the sauce ordered. Fake TP as well. Hopefully Jectile Lurks for one more on the book. Okarin reading it. Actually very, very cognizant that there wasn't what that Omen had bargained for. Continuation. Waldy pigeonholed by Button. Cincinnati looking the strongest they've been on this B, taking a hot minute. And Vulcan is the conversion. That's going to be massive for University of Cincinnati. I'm telling you, they have light in them. They have energy. They're frisky. They're vibrant. They are delivering the sauce. Very difficult to walk a line here between what is the better team, or Sam, or who's ahead of the game, and it's impossible to do so. Look at the score line. That's point number A. Point number B is look at the actual contribution top to bottom from these teams, and that site take onto B, that fragment towards spawn, the utilization of the smokes, the isolating of picks. That's what got me super excited for Cincinnati on that B take. They gotta stick true to that on their attack.
I never thought I'd utter these words, by the way, Stripe, but quadruple overtime. Taka, you're just going for it! That's what I've been missing. That's what I've been waiting to see. They just forego most of the utility and get that operator online again. I've missed it, Taka. I've missed it so much, and I'm ready for it to happen again.
Bottom in, not smoked out from Texas State.
Chief.
You give Taka a sight line, you gotta be super, super careful. That op will capitalize. I am so shocked Texas State didn't smoke bottom mid to make that cross safely. I just don't comprehend that.
Yep, Texas State making some of those mistakes now. And you had to be wondering if that fatigue is really starting to set in with quadruple overtime. Okarin, quick flash onto the ground, flushing out anyone who might be closer there, but Dummy hiding out up here is not going to find much fruition from the fruits of their labors. Spike is going to be planted, but obviously in the numbers game, University of Cincinnati is up there higher, and you have that Taka operator. Whoever dares to enter into their sights, you better be ready. Otherwise, it is going to be your life. That is how do you do it, Taka? How do you do it? Maynard was right there with a 3K to trade it back out, but Aaron only has 17 HP. Oh, the swarm grenade, that could have been hit right there. The smoke goes down. It's actually going to be a rough smoke that Aaron almost took advantage of. But Vulcan, again, needing to put the University of Cincinnati team on their back, carries them through this round. Spike defused once more into match point.
Switching sides. Match
What
point.
really worked out for Cincinnati there was that final little push there. I was shaking in my boots waiting for them to tap a spike with a smoke down in front of them and just get spammed out. It was... I would have absolutely flipped my bird. Coming off that opening pick there that we saw from Taka, that's the kind of goodness that worked for Cincinnati. The conversion of the ones, the second on mid, they have to continue to push Taka to be the catalyst. And it's tough. It's very tough to do so when your primary opper is not holding an op, right? And I think a lot of those rounds have been based on Taka holding the big green in hand.
All right, we're seeing the strategy again from University of Cincinnati. It hasn't worked out so far, but this might actually be throwing Texas State off of their game. You see that they're leaning more towards A and mid. If they can get Maynard out of here, but we see it time and time again, how Maynard works. Wait for the paranoia, but Maynard hit with that suppression. Taka, they're not wasting any time. Taka taking names. Taka being the tip of the spear for University of Cincinnati. And where the strategy hasn't worked out so many times before, finally, it is going in their favor. Spike planted, a 5v3. Texas State on the ropes.
They're going for it here. Chief has to do something about it. Gonna cloud burst off that recon dart. Getting spammed out. There is so much presence in hell. And boy, is hell hot. Luke, though, nice conversion there via the recon dart. Gonna pop off Waldy. Taka again for the 3. Taka on the Blaze Storm. I can't make this stuff up anymore, Sam. It's from Taka to take Cincinnati home for the dub.
Put respect on his name. Taka, the god of Cincinnati. What a way to close out quadruple overtime. That is something that is going to be clipped, right? That is something that you can hang on the fridge and smile at it every single morning. University of Cincinnati, it took some time to get there, but a 2-0 clean sweep in this series is going to send Texas State packing and continuing that undefeated streak here for this team.
So good. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better game-winning round. And it's sitting in this chair, it's very hard to not be frank about the obvious shortcomings for both of these two teams, right? I think they both had struggles. Texas was that defensive team that Cincinnati was. They had great pushes on their attack side, but like you said in the beginning in the series, they felt a little bit disconnected in some cases. And some of that did carry through into Ascent. Cincinnati just straight up struggled on attack until Taka woke up and aced at the end of it to be that end all be all situation. I just didn't expect it to go to that distance and to see such diverse sides from both these two teams and how they had to struggle and fight with these demons. It was just really fun to watch them grow and finally put a full stop, especially on what I thought was the biggest opportunity on the board, which was Cincinnati's attack. They had so much potential and strength on defense, and they just could never translate it over to the other side.
Well, regardless of whatever happens here, both teams survived through a quadruple overtime. And obviously, Cincinnati was the one who came out the victor of that, but it's still a endurance run that I think University of Cincinnati is glad that they don't have to continue to run through. Now, however, we do get a cheeky little interview coming up with the winning team, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for an interview.
My own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities.
Apologies for the long wait, but finally we are back with week number 6 of EGFC Valorant Season 5. My name's Anton, and joined here by the wonderful and handsome Tenrek to bring you guys the second game of the day. University of Delaware facing off against the Rochester Institute of Technology.
Great to be here, Anton. Great to cover two teams that we really wanted to see more of so far this season, and I'm so glad that we finally get to here in the late shift of EGF Valor, and hope you guys are tuning into this one and our simul stream going on over on EGF Official 3.
Yeah, so we've got two, like you mentioned, two teams that we'd like to see more. Of course, Delaware having, over the weeks, they've had a decent record over the course of this season. Of course, I think, as I've said across the entire season so far, I think we've casted them quite a few times on the mainstream, and they have come up from a little bit of like a middling performance last season to somewhat more. They're a lot more competitive now against, of course, the top teams. Unfortunately, their standings so far in the season aren't looking the best because they have played a lot of those top teams: Arlington, Auburn, everyone that just doesn't lose this season. They've played a lot, and they butt heads against them. So far, it hasn't proven too well. 2-3 in the season. RIT, on the other hand, these guys have been kind of quiet, mainly because we haven't had them on EGF2 so far, but I think they've been casted on EGF3 multiple times. And unfortunately, last week, we didn't get to see the finishing of their series because I think the stream crashed or something like that.
I believe so, yeah.
But yeah, they've had an exceptional season, and I think the only match they've dropped is somewhat last week. I don't know how that ended up happening, but yeah, they lost 1-2, and every other series that I've seen from them has been a solid 2-0.
Yeah, the fact that their only loss currently is to UT Arlington is certainly a bit scary, and they even got them to 3 maps in that match as well. So RIT's resume is looking really good going into this matchup, which scares me, as always, against University of Delaware. Like you said, this is a great team filled with really, really great players that have just had it rough this season schedule-wise. They've had a lot of tough teams, and this one is no different, but we've seen some stars come out of this Delaware squad. Harissa, an amazing controller this season so far. Kevster, one of the best duelists to come out of it so far, and also one of our favorite interviewees for sure. Goyongi, one of the biggest dark horses as well here in EGF. I mean, this team is just chock full of star talent.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't, of course, we couldn't ignore Rochester on the other side of things. We see Sticky Rice and Goon Guy, I think, are the two players that we're really going to be looking out for to perform extremely, extremely well so far. Sticky Rice being the duelist of the team. on the Rays, I think most of the weeks that we've seen him so far, at least on the second stream, and Goonguy being the flex, I think sometimes he plays a Sentinel, sometimes he's on like a Viper or something, depending on the map that they want to go to. But if we're going to talk about that as well, the map bans that we have here today, we should see a split first off for a guaranteed map number 1, a Haven, and if we need to, we'll get to a Sunset.
This is going to be a really high stakes and high speed matchup the whole way through, which excites me. Split, Haven, and Sunset all rely on those super fast entrances. The latter because of its infancy still in this meta. But in the meantime, we head into Split to start things out on our first map. Both these teams quite practiced on it, quite favorable on it so far this season, even despite Delaware's kind of unfortunate, again, score so far this season. But as we head into Agent Select, RIT going to be on the attack here, as they will be selecting the Astra very early on, which excites me because that is the split strat that has kind of been able to weather the storm a bit despite Astra's slipping prominence in the meta. And it looks like Rochester is going to go into it with the Viper as well. Yeah, this is very like classic split that we've seen since its return to the comp rotation.
It's definitely different, right? Because these two teams, of course, RIT, we see double-double, we see double controller, double duelist, and Delaware are going with the newly buffed Cypher as of last week.
Yes.
So there's definitely going to be a couple different playstyles here. RIT running double dive into Delaware's comp of literally just hard lockdown. They have double... Sorry, they are also running a double. They're running double initiator, so they have double info there. So this is going to be an interesting dynamic, considering RIT are starting attack. They're starting attack on every single map this tonight, by the way. So that's something as well. But Delaware are definitely holding... They're running a more hunker down kind of play style where they're just going to sit on sites and maybe just try and work off their utility, right? Because you see Lucas here already setting up some kill trips over on the A site. You have the default cages. This is all standard stuff. It's really going to be interesting to see how RIT deal with that kind of thing, because now with the newly buffed Cypher trips, the fact that you have to shoot them, you can't like do anything else. I am wondering if Ray's stuff actually destroys them. I've been away from the game for a while. I apologize. The league has been on my mind. But yeah, like even though they have like the dog doesn't break it anymore. You have to shoot the trip even if the dog runs through it. So this is gonna be very... I think the defense half for Delaware is gonna be quite powerful because of that one reason.
Yeah, this Cypher is definitely a troubling topic. It should also be said ISO is back in rotation for those who have not gotten the memo on that yet, now that the week is passed. And ISO is not that bugged yet. We're excited to see him potentially in Haven taking over that. But of course, in we go to round 1 of game 1 between two teams. Again, such a big image to uphold on both sides. As Sticky Rice will start the dive. Kevster going to be able to deny it to start things out. And the vent push is disrupted early, so RIT going to take that detour all the way over to A site and pretty dang quickly as well. As we see Goonguy really pave that path up tower and at least take over one chunk of site. Going to split this Scream Saver in half. Lucas, double duty on A site, is able to get it done on the Ghost.
One enemy remaining.
And now so much less work for the rest of the squad. It's trivial for Delaware. 1-0 on defense.
Now Lucas locking it down on that A site. You can't even... That's not even the Cypher's fault, right? He just aimed at them, shot them, left clicked, and he did really well there. And even Kevster at the beginning, yeah, he went down first, but also he denies the dive entry from Sticky Rice. Don't know how all the shots missed, but you know what? Sometimes the right click is a fickle mistress. So unfortunate for the Rays, not able to find anything through that mid dive. And so the splits just ended up not working. Like they have heavy control, and the Cypher doesn't need to worry about two different angles. Only has to look at what's right in front of him, and then coming in through the A main position. This locks it completely down. So well done from Lucas. And we go into the second round where we see a lot of guns, a lot of Spectres coming in from Delaware, and RIT just look to form a lot of presence towards his B. They want to farm these orbs for Sticky Rice as fast as they possibly can, but it doesn't look like they're committing anywhere as fast since the Astra still holds the spike inside of sewers.
Yeah, they want to hold on to this for a little while for sure. See what kind of power they can finagle. Topic holding. Tower is hit twice. Doesn't matter. Stinger can do it all. 43 HP. But Kevster is not available. It is Kevster on the sky, by the way, which I think warrants a bit of, you know, a glance. Cosmic does take over the duelist role sometimes, but Kevster does not often leave it. Though his sky, when he does pull it out, those rare few occasions do become deadly. As he once again looks to front bench, he will once again
One enemy
win
remaining.
it out.
Spike down mid.
A second 2K for Delaware. He cannot turn into 3 though. Goon Guy, the shutdown, but the trap wire and the devastation inside the pit. That is not the snakes. Still a kill onto Lucas, but that is all the Goon Guy will find. 3 remain alive for Delaware's defense.
Honestly, the situation he's put in, I think getting 2 there is very blessed. He's thanking his lucky stars that he's able to pick up the second one, but the Cypher's gonna lose the gun. Kevster as well, of course, so that's not like the end of the world, but at the same time, RIT are gonna love to have that. They're gonna have 2 sheriffs going to this round, so Delaware's bonus is not gonna be the strongest in the world. Enough to buy up in the future rounds, perhaps, but for now, RIT should have a fairly clean one in their hands if they can make everything work for themselves. But so far, it's been Goon Guy really to be the one to do pretty much everything in most of these rounds. Hopefully with the rifles in hands, the rest of them can kind of wake up, but it's definitely a default across the map. Fast A presence from the side of Delaware, and the solo lurk of Viper gets immediately deleted, but with that, they know how many people are here. RIT is going to speed up with the speed, and the only defense right now is Lucas,
who will duck out. Rightfully so. Delaware
Spike
do not
planted.
want to play with their food. They want to get this done and dusted. Into tower. Okay. Ready. Oh, but Sticky Rice is on the rampage. 15 HP though. Not much to do with this. Unless you can get the drop, unless you have someone rotate off of you, and Sticky Rice does. Wills now for 2 of their own.
Blinded.
The 3v2 that
One
favors
enemy
RIT enough to take this bonus with 2 standing.
Alright, lots of damage done there. Hunter picks up a rifle, so at least they keep 2 into this one. But 3 kills, a lot of armors have to be rebought. RIT, their money is not good enough to go for a couple... well, I say that. They did keep 2 alive. They might end up forcing, and they do. A lot of people buying down to 0. Sticky Rice and Goon Guy both struggling in terms of their own economy, going to be at half armor. And also 0 credits for the Rays all the way down there. But at least they do have rifles. Same thing for Delaware's sake. So this big swing round coming in here. Whoever loses this is going to be forced onto some kind of low buy. So Delaware, hopefully, for their sake, they want to be able to continue this streak. But RIT want to do the same on their side. No ults on the board for anyone, but Kevster's fairly close. Goon Guy just the same, and Sticky Rice even. Close to a showstopper, and they're going to be taking control of A main fairly quickly, so I'd be surprised if they don't go for an orb on the Rays here to be able to use it in this round. It's a default across the map. Spike is literally in their spawn, so they'll be poking and prodding, especially with this kind of information, to see what ground they can take control of. And they do clear out the entirety of mid with that one Skydog, but they're not going to take it. They're just going to rotate all the way back and reset towards this B site and even grab the Spike along with it.
That was so risky from Goon Guy, but Kevster does not push it. And so RIT's remainder heads on to Garage without a lot of intel. Melissa has to be the dry piece. We'll spot a body or 2. Is that the go signal? The showstopper will be. In dives Sticky Rice. Half stopped, but not enough for Wills to not break through and get the kill. So a 5v4 on B site. That is held for how long as the Nebulous will
Spike
fade?
planted.
Right now. We are bring up the tower, spots ahead, not in time to kill it though. Sticky Rice, also some pot shots, and now the paint shells. Goyongi on the run, 11 health. There. As RIT continues to play keep away. Delaware with that pack mentality as Goon Guy. Once again, the snake of the squad has found Lucas and tower control. Sides continuously swapped this round, but continuously in favor of RIT, who will keep 2 up for their second round.
All the angles and timings towards the end of it favored RIT, even going around the mid pillar on side of B and up into heaven as well, with Goon Guy's flanks. So very nicely done from the entirety of the team to actually look like they were working as a single unit. It looks like they were like controlled by some type of hive mind there, but everyone having great positioning, able to win out the fights on the side of Delaware as well. So now 2-2. Again, like I said, big swing round, and even for RIT's sake, it's curious to see. They're talking about what to buy right now. Maybe considering an operator for one of their players, but no, they're going to go for the full rifles. Delaware on the Mega save. There's a lot of people in this corner though, and that nade is gonna chunk down a couple players quite low, but there's a counter nade, and Kevster takes the brunt of that force. There's a lot of people from Delaware here, all very, very low HP, and RIT don't seem to be backing off just yet.
Yeah, very terrified and very scattered. Should be able to easily trade on
One
this,
enemy
and
remaining.
they will. Only losing one in the process. Should be an easy pickup from here. As RIT have all the space
Spike
they need.
planted.
Lucas has a sheriff, so we'll need to see a huge pop-off if he wants a chance. We've seen it before. And there's a good amount of time left on the spike, but he might just end up lurking instead until the last moment.
If he could get some exits here, this would be pretty big. RIT's money isn't completely exploded just yet, and one's ballooning. Max money is 2150 on the side of Ting. So any guns taken off the board is going to help. They're going to smoke him off. They don't know he's there, but it's the best guess. We got one! Not quite. Very nicely done from RIT. Very clean exit there on the A site. So up to 3 now. Delaware are going to have guns in the next round, and they're also going to have 3 ults. Two very impactful ones, Guyangi and Kepster. So there's definitely some win conditions I can play with here. A lot of rifles on the board. A lot. Even still, buying down, Guyangi's considering what to actually invest in terms of utility versus weaponry, and it looks like they're opting for the former as they. So okay, it's a bit back and forth. Half armor. So they go for both. All right, they sacrifice the armor, and she wants to be able to help the rest of her team with the flashes and the aftershock, but still have the firepower to fight with. So there you go. RIT going for yet another 4-1 setup. They're sending this Jet solo in the mid for now. That's for a little bit of attention probably, but the Viper is going to be towards A once more. 3 people towards the speed, picking up the orb, if I'm correct, for Hunter this time. So they even have a Cosmic Divide going into this round number 6 as well, depending on where they want to go. But they're still taking it very, very slow. Unfortunately for Delaware, well, I say unfortunately, but Cosmic does get the entry kill. And once again, Goonguy caught out here.
You want to
I think
fight
they're
it?
reading in the fact that he's alone most of the time, solo looking for the shoulder. But now this tower dive, they're going to be able to go for 1-for-1, but still advantage for Delaware because that early kill. Harissa takes another. Big bombs now for RIT. They're getting collapsed on. Now only one left alive is the Astra that has used the Cosmic Divide, finding himself inside the site itself.
A tower push completely denied. After Goonguy finds some punish, and Harissa will get their first 3 kills of the game to tie us back up. And that was, I think, a great punish. I think was 2 great punishments coming from a team that was seeing RIT do the same thing over and over again. Goonguy was constantly lurking and oftentimes in the same position. This was just Cosmic finally cashing in. And from there was not nearly enough attention paid to Goyangi and Tower. There was not nearly enough fear and respect given towards them.
Get out of
Had
my
way
way!
too much time. Just let fly, stall the rest of the team, and get some damage in before going down. Such an easy pickup from there, but Sticky Rice has something to say. Already back in the game. A shot through the smokes, and you're to blame. Yo, Yangi, back in events. Not going to fall just yet, but not going to fully ward away this RIT squad that now searches from mid to sewer, looking for a way to get this momentum back up.
Looks like they're looking in the right direction as well, because Guyangi is the only one defending this A site, and everyone from RIT is walking very slowly back towards it. And there's a minute left on the clock, so there's no reason for Delaware to really go poking too much. So I don't think Guyangi's going to know anything's happening until it really starts hitting. The smoke's going to go up top ramp.
I've
Not
got
going to
your
have
trail.
any kind of vision. There's the noise, but they're going to know she's here. She's going to back off just a little bit and just play her own life, wait for the rest of her team. Plant is going to be attempted, not quite confirmed. They're finally going for that at the back of the site, but the breach out's going to go out fast.
30 seconds
No one's
left.
there to act off of it. The only 1 kill. But it's still a 4-on-4. At least they even up the man count. Guyangi's
Last
dropped. It
player
also drops
standing.
one of her opponents, but RIT fire right back, and it's Harissa in a 1-on-3.
But it's
Plant still hasn't gone down though.
Spike
Chance
planted.
still low HP, and that's enough for Willis to land the body shot and secure the round.
too high strong at this point. RIT has started to drag Delaware by their heels in these rounds, and they haven't really been able to catch up in those high octane rounds where there's not, you know, that presence, that stopping, that driving force like we saw in that clutch round in Tower. And so RIT looked primed to start up this streak again, only with the pit in tow. Wills definitely did a lot of work there, but they've made it clear that they don't have to in order for this team to punch through the so far not thick enough layers that Delaware has set up on this defense.
Another orb for Sticky Rice very soon. Spam's gonna continue to kind of ring out, but yeah, I mean, at some point you gotta really give up on that. Not enough bullets in the gun after the ammo nerfs so long ago. But there is a lot of space being taken by Delaware in mid right now. Willis seems to be aware of it. At least he's playing in a way that says so. But the flash is huge! Kevster gets one, and there's even more of a fight. Cosmic lands the showstopper, and Willis is gonna have to run for his life very, very low. They're all gonna try and relocate, and even a flank through sewers, but you know, Koyangi is also still looking for that. These guys do have the spike. That's the only saving grace for the side of RIT, but there is a player on Delaware still available on this A site, likely calling. Lucas has eyes both on Heaven and throughout the A main with that one trip. There goes the kill trip. No one able to play off of it, but there's still the awareness is there. Cosmic is inside the vents, gets taken out by Goonguy though. Now there's options for RIT as to where they want to go. And it looks like they're opting for that B site, but Delaware, that's where they've got stacked. That's where absolutely everyone is right now for this team.
Remaining.
And the defense is going to mow them down. Kevster with 3 in the round. Goyangi's going to clean that up with the aftershock, and Delaware now tie it up.
And at 2 points, Delaware stopped RIT dead in their tracks. It cannot be a slowdown. It cannot be a skid to a stop. They have to defy friction. They have to defy the laws of physics in order to stop this RIT squad from attacking. And now they've done it twice in the past 3 rounds. They have put up a giant stop sign to this entire attacking death ball. And RIT doesn't have a solid answer to it because all they know is fighting on these front lines once they get on the site. And they're pretty good at it, but on the outskirts of those, in the moments in which they have to maneuver back into favorable positions, they have shown their weaker side. Here we go again. Now into vents. Kevster will not show dominance this time. And so RIT have options to snake into vents through tower, risk that open B site, or to just run it onto the more controlled A. They'll take the ladder, and Sticky Rice will prove to still be dominant as they trade the 1-for-1. 4v3 as the orb will get tossed out. Ward away Cosmic, whose paint shells will finish off Sticky Rice. And again, slow this to a halt. But it's a slow, which means that RIT still have something to work with. That's something. That vent over to tower, over to B, over to a less occupied site, one that has less time attached to it as well. And with 50 seconds left on the clock, it is still a very viable option, with Goonguy making sure that mid is not being snaked through. Oh no, Delaware is keeping their distance. A Cosmic Divide, a Neural Theft, they can play that long game if they need to, but if they can hold it down from here, from the back lines of A, they are perfectly
30 seconds left
as well. Toxie screen breached. Screens not held. And Wills will clear the trap wire. Viper's pick is up. A presence is guaranteed.
All hacks coming up from the Cypher though. He's gonna know that they're all in this pit, and RIT just have to hold it down as best they can. But the spam! Goonguy the one that goes down somehow. They have found that blessing in this curse, but Lucas is trying to follow through. RIT still have a chance though, because Willis finds 2. And now just the Cypher in the 1-on-1. That's go. And the head as well from Willis.
Willis! In the one time where Delaware clung to something, the top frag shuts it down. And again, it doesn't need to happen, but at this point, it bloody well helps. And now, in the lead, once again, RIT look to book it for the finish line. The showstopper is here. The Cosmic Divide is here. Round-stopping ults are available. And so as long as they maintain this tempo control, as long as they know when they're able to W key and when they're able to hold the line, This is definitely a doable 8-4.
You want to
gun
fight it?
disadvantage that Delaware's holding on to. Lucas on the run. Marcus Garrett. And the showstopper cares not. Sticky Rice is all the way in bloody screens, and the Cosmic Divide to show up to guarantee that the rest of the team gets wherever they want on this playground that is A site. Spike is down.
planted.
Plenty of time. Delaware on the back foot already. 2 through sewers here. Goyongi might not be caught. Goongai is checking CT first. Or T, excuse me.
Last player
Will swing on a
standing.
Goyongi though, and Kevster has also been found. So the flank is ruined. Harissa though is gonna go for another one. See if they can get anything here. At least one on the wheel. Solid shot. Anything else in the tank? Don't believe so. This is too much. Yep. RIT up to 6, and a good amount of denial means that Delaware is still gonna have to kind of empty their pockets this round.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been such a nice showing from RIT. The scoreline might not show the fact that this is quite one-sided so far, and maybe it isn't. The rounds are getting quite close, but the side of Delaware, like you were talking about control at the start of the previous round, RIT have kept control of not only the game itself, but also the economy the entire time. Delaware have been put on so many light buys. That's what lets RIT do what they've done in that round. They just go full send, 5-man into A, no hesitation. They have people watching flank, but they just go right through because they know that Delaware aren't going to have the weaponry to be able to fight back. Now they finally do. RIT are going to slow it down a little bit. They know exactly how this game state works. They go back to farming their orbs. They're going to try and pick it up. The Sticky Rice wanted it for a second because that's been the routine, but Ting is much closer to that ultimate. 2 away, this time from the Seekers. And with this setup across the map, they have played the same thing quite a while. But now, after Viper gets caught very close to this A main, he's playing so far back. You can look at him. He's basically he's in attacker spawn. He's where you can buy guns.
Yeah.
So he's playing all the way back there, not wanting to get caught a gun. If he finds some aggression, he tells his team to speed up towards the speed. But since they see nothing, they're just going to reset back towards mid, take control of vents. And now Delaware, they have this question mark put in their head every single round. RIT just walk away. They don't need to answer it. That bird doesn't even really clear it. It went to the top of ropes, which means they're still going to have to worry about Heaven being taken control of. At least Delaware are keeping 3 here. That's their one little saving grace. RIT are walking into the stack, but even still, it's going to be a 5-on-3 very soon.
A heavy fight that RIT is going to take quickly and efficiently.
30
Wills is
seconds
in.
left.
Fault line in response. Good gravity well as well. Harissa has cleaned up!
Recovering it.
But it's Goyongi's assists that are all over this round. A concuss for the ages, perfectly timed. And all of a sudden, it's just Hunter. Yet again, dead in
10
their
seconds
tracks,
left.
and nothing less is what it takes for Delaware to get another round. 5-6 now.
Last round in the half.
In those kinds of rounds where, as an attacking team, you've done nothing in terms of doing damage to your opponents. You're just walking into a site when it's low time. The only way the defense really wins is if you make some kind of hero play. If you go 1 for 1, maybe 2 for 2. Harissa just says, no, we're going 4 for nothing. The only one that goes down at the end is Goyongi, but that's, like you mentioned, the assists were huge. Harissa able to clean up on all those frags. Very nicely done from the controller on the side of Delaware, and once again we're evened up. Delaware coming to this last round of the first half with full guns, a lot of ults. Kevster and Harissa both sitting on theirs. Goyongi 1 away from the breach ultimate as well. And once again another slow round, but this time is a very active play over towards this A site. Kevster's got to be a little bit careful, not careful enough. Goongai takes him out top ramp. Now is an even bigger question mark being put into Heaven, because now Goongai can go anywhere he wants, but there's a second lurk outside this A as well. This Astra is walking all the way through, but they clear everything. And I think RIT know at this point that there was a heavy on-site presence for this side of Delaware on A, because this Vents presence from
Where is Goongai,
is
dude?
just
What?
cutting this in. He's cutting the map in half.
How
These
has he
guys can't
done
rotate
this?
anymore.
I've
How
got
has
your
he just
trail.
so casually gotten into vents? This is ridiculous. B-side is a guarantee. The map is split in 2. And Lucas may be able to find one, but he is torn away. Sticky Rice looking for the other, and he will be able to find it. And so Delaware is led completely astray by this. They have to stick one on tower because they don't know where this Viper is. They still have to account for it. And so it's a 2v3 on site, essentially. Cosmic Divide can be used, though. So Sticky Rice is kind of stuck alone here. Dog will come out from the corner cubby, though. Cosmic is here in time as well, and Hunter now has to go see Doe.
Last
Especially
player
Marissa and
standing.
Cosmic are winning their fights too, but Ting and Good Guy, Goon Guy, finally Goon Guy makes it.
Switching sides.
And 2 will remain up to grab a 7th for RIT. Again, and that just shows the gap that doesn't show in the round count. You know, there are the rounds where Delaware puts a full stop on RIT, and they are beyond impressive. But they are moments that are fleeting, Anton, especially as this Cypher goes into the attack.
Yeah, it's so scary to see for the side of Delaware. If you're a Delaware fan, RIT have been playing them pretty much like puppets so far. The way they won that round is just absolutely beautiful as well. Like, you can tell that every single round that RIT has gone through so far, they have had a plan, and if something happens to go right somewhere, like a pick and a top ramp, they just say scrap the plan. We have a new one. They can come up with new solutions at any given time. Now on their defense, they just have to wait for Delaware to walk into them. But the thing is, Lucas does find a similar type of presence over towards this B that we had last round towards A. Gotten a kill. A lot of space being taken. Goon Guy finds a little bit of a target, but can't find the
Spike down A.
He does!
One
Finds
enemy
3
remaining.
heads. And Lucas, the only response. They know exactly where he is, though, but he does the same. A 1-on-2, no spike control. It's over towards A heaven because they committed so hard. Lucas has to try and find his way around. He's got a minute to play with, so he could be literally anywhere on the map in the next 30 seconds. But RIT, they pretty much got Spike under lock. They have no questions. They also have no Sentinel. So there could be a hole for Lucas to sneak through, and they're both looking towards vents. What's the timing in their heads like? Because they're going to have to look back eventually. Lucas is found at least
enemy
one
remaining.
back, and he's on for the clutch. 1-on-5 pretty much for this man. Up on heaven, is he going to expect? He tries to pick up the spike, and the timing denied the ace. Goon Guy once again saves the round. He wins another one just by himself.
Oh, get me out of here, man. I can't take this anymore. A streak on both ends. Aim labs for 1, by the way. My God, Hunter, what in God's name was that? And Goon Guy still somehow stays alive to grab 1 more after coming back out of the water once nobody's paying attention to him. But signs of life from Delaware. Lucas, great lurk, and he's gonna do it again this round. I think that's where he belongs. And this synergy for Goyongi and Harissa is just so terrifying every round anyway. Cosmic reaches through, but everybody's blind! Goon Guy will
down
recover
mid.
in time to grab 2. Kevster trades. And so far, Delaware is like sort of okay with this. Nice! Oh, but Lucas is gone. And that might be the ticket. A 9-5 lead here is severe. Especially when, again, RIT looks so good in the long run here. They look so primed. But Goyongi has been given a sign, a moment, this time by Kevster. And the 2 initiators are on a prowl.
1 enemy
Guys,
remaining.
hold the
Last
line.
player
Can't
standing.
pull the
Spike
trigger.
down B.
And Kevster will trade again. Even guns. Even players.
40 seconds. Technically, he has time. Kevster could play the long game. Tapping the plant again. Now it's confirmed. Now there's no time
30
to
seconds
make the
left.
rotation happen.
No.
Hunter, though, is going to try and finish the round before the plant even goes down. But Kevster now, knowing his position, he's going to keep trying to bait up this peak. But this Astra has gone all the way around to dirt. Don't think he's aware of it just yet. But with that fake smoke to fake out a drop, Kevster's going to plant wide in the open because he thinks he's all the way down in hell. Out-brained Hunter has got his read like a book.
That was such a clean fake coming from Hunter. Every step of that was just so well timed and well planned.
Probably play right there.
Incredibly done to make sure RIT can escape with round 14. And we must stress that, escape. Goyongi and Kevster went on a rampage that round. And they were unfettered for a moment there. And it came, honestly, from that starting push. While it was so fractured and Goonguy still got the 2, it opened mid up a lot for the remainder of the squad to make some waves. And so this is a really stiff buy for a defense that Delaware can easily pounce on and turn into a momentous stroll for their own occasion, which is why you see RIT playing so dang slow right now. Hunter still stuck in the nebula as it fades. Goyongi is going to win it out instant 5v4, instant one singular advantage lost. And now with this trap wire, again, Lucas has found a place to be in this team, even from the more disadvantageous side, on the losing side of the battle. And he's the only one with an ultimate right now. Well timed on the Bucky, not enough. Go Yonggi, number 2 for the round. And seemingly no sign of life here for RIT.
Player
No
standing.
clutch, no bodies at all. It's a flawless round 15. And Delaware can have their heads held high.
They will
Carry
study.
that into what is now the long haul.
Absolutely. They need to double the scoreline to at least get to match point. But RIT only have to get 4 to win out. This is going to be quite tough,
Yes,
but there is full guns on everyone's side. Delaware even have a little bit of a buffer because of how drastically they saved in the second, and RIT losing so many manpower means that their economy is not looking too well. This is a swing round for Delaware's sake. RIT, if they lose, big problems for them. Delaware have a little bit of a cushion. Looking towards this A with a lurk towards B. This with that Cypher once again. They seem to want to go fast, and they're already expending all the smokes. Cosmic's going to be in the site very promptly. A nice coordination there to make sure that he gets there on time. And these guys, I mean, they have A. Literally, that is how it is. But proactiveness from RIT side, which means they have caught a kill. He's got one across the scenes, but Sticky is going to get 2 on the site itself, and he's got the showstopper to play with. This should be no check. But these guys on RIT,
One enemy
excuse me,
remaining.
Delaware have gotten 1, and Lucas now on the lurk. He's got a chance to win the round. There's a smoke on the heaven, which might be the problem. But now there's no time. Tings is holding this defuse all the way through, and Lucas knows it. Just wants to keep his own life, keep the weapon. Might have said their money is doing pretty well, but they want to keep as much as they can in the future rounds.
That showstopper didn't do, huh?
It's,
They didn't do any damage. They were right there.
I think he shot it at the elbow. That was
they-
probably why.
Did
It
they
was a
not,
bit
like-
far. It doesn't look kind of crazy though.
Oh my god, that looked so trippy. But I saw. I mean, obviously,
That
I saw
goes
the video
there.
particularize. Of course, he's gonna use that showstopper to open things up. And I guess it worked. Like everybody else was able to get on site because of it. I just can't believe that didn't even like really do any damage.
Just raise things, man. Speaking of raise things.
Oh,
Out
big
in the mid,
race
doesn't
things.
expect the smoke. He's actually got his own medicine given back to him. He did that round like what 4, 5? Same thing. Shot through his smoke. Now he gets his own head taken off. Goon guys. Wait. Okay, I thought that was him. Ting is behind him, holding his back, but he might get stabbed out of his smoke, trying to go forward. And he's got the flash to work with. Beautiful teamwork on RIT, and they come out of that mid skirmish 2 up.
That's great maneuvering from Goon Guy. I don't know how you keep your cool in that setting, especially with the nerfs onto that gun, but gonna get away with it and not have to put down that pit, which was definitely being considered for placing down mid. This has been a hot button issue on both sides, really. Delaware's dominance of mid is definitely a pressing matter if RIT want to make sure that they can clean up this game quickly. Before, again, Delaware finds
30
those
seconds
moments
left.
have just been coming to them far more often than we keep thinking they will. Out we swing into tower. Everyone's stacked.
They found
which
my
means
wire.
that
Here.
Ting is not going to take this immediately. But they are going to let them know that they are here. Perhaps to slow them down. Consider, but
shots.
steps being
10
heard and
seconds
looking
left.
easily turned back around. Harissa also winning that one.
One enemy
For
remaining.
the post plan and Go Yonggi having the early hold in Link. This year for RIT. Lack of prep maybe here. But Hunter can get away with the first kill. 60. This is doable if you take heads. And Go Yonggi doesn't even land a single shot. Harissa's also quite low. This is very clutchable. Oh, Hunter can just wallbang this. Okay. You see the gun? You pull out your knife!
A little bit of nerves maybe for the side of RIT.
Release
The Delaware
tension.
turning that 3-on-4 into a
Let's go.
3-on-2. Like, they just won 2 fights. They actually straight up won 2 fights.
1
I think
second
Harissa
peek
actually
right
got caught
there.
off at the back of B site going for the spike plant. Getting shot out by Jet, but then Jet loses the gunfight. In mid, Delaware win another fight. And it just snowballs from there. It's straight up Well done from Delaware. A little bit unlucky for RIT. Sometimes it happens. You lose fights. That's Valorant. But at the end, yeah, quite some nerves. They need to pull the knife out, but take the rounds as they come. 7 to 10. Everyone still has weapons on Delaware, not to be the same for RIT. This defense is going to be quite tough, but Hunter has got the positioning that he needs with this weapon. Shorty only lands 1 pump, and Cosmic's got that every single day.
Spike
Big stack
planted.
on B site trying to gamble, and they picked the wrong color. Delaware have got A site under lock, playing very far back just to avoid any kind of shenanigans with the shorties. They do have a bunch of sheriffs, so maybe RIT can make something of this.
Yeah, this is a good heterogeneous mix of guns
Wrong
that
buddy out.
RIT has to deal with the problem. It's gotta be sticky rice. It tends to be how it is though. As yeah, nothing doing for Will's side of the problem. Oh, the shots are just not really landing.
One enemy remaining. My ult's ready.
Oh, sick. Nice. Flex. All right, sticky rice gets 2, but that's all. It's gonna be an 8-10 game here. Delaware again, making this closer than it is. I don't even know how to explain it anymore, man. This is just this is a really crazy game. Unstoppable force and immovable object.
There.
Really, like just that is how to describe this.
I think from our discussions pregame, right? Because looking at the standings of these two teams, they're not quite close. Delaware 2 and 3. I think RIT 4 and 1 or something like that.
Something like
Coming into it, there's definitely
Right there.
RIT had to be the
Right
favorites, like absolutely. But Delaware are showing up once again. Like these guys are such a great team. They've been going up against some unfortunate opponents, but they managed to put the fight on when it matters. Full guns for everywhere now, and it's the ultimate from the Viper, put down in mid from the side of RIT.
Wrong buddy out.
But Delaware aren't even considering that. They're looking straight to the B site where it's completely vacant, and they have control of it, even securing it with the
I've
Cosmic
got
Divide
your
just to make sure
trail.
that nothing funny can happen. Plant's gonna go down. Of course, not heard from the side of RIT until this happens, but it's a 5-on-5 for this retake. Ults across the board. There's a breach ult on the offense, though, so RIT have to go fast.
Yeah, they really need to drop on them here. And tries to be able to kill Marissa. And as the secrets come out, the Rolling Thunder is actually going to catch a good couple. But that presence is only in Garage at this point. Cosmic now in the cubby, and Delaware is going to be able to re-enter. RIT is just not getting kills quickly enough. They do not have the presence, and Wills is trying to op right now. There's just not the time. Goon Guy has to get on site and do a lot of the heavy lifting here, and there's just not enough time. Kevster will get another kill here, and Willis will escape with an op, but Delaware will escape with the round. 9-10.
Oh, another gamble coming up from RIT, putting the Viper's Pit in mid. I think heavy stacking A, even with the operator, and leaving B site to Delaware's favor. I mean, one ultimate from the Astra, you just kind of walk in for free. And with the new buffs that Astra's received, I say new, it's been a while, but even still, the fact that the wall, you can't hear anything across it. No plants, no nothing, no gunshots, no footsteps. They're not aware that Delaware has taken...
You really just don't argue with it. Like, it's just such a decisive way to get on site.
It's another dice roll that RIT fail. But Delaware, I mean, they make good of it, right? At least RIT did get an ult out of them. Goyangi did pop the Rolling Thunder, but even still, they played very well off of it. Delaware peaked as soon as that went down, got 1 kill, and even the stun got another frag at the back of the site. So very nice team play from the side of Delaware. Timeout from RIT, understandably so. They have lost every single gun round in the second half, bar one, bar right after the bonus. They've gotten 1 defuse. Every single time Delaware have had their number, and even still now, they have no buy. They have 2,900 on Goon Guy, and everyone else is doing a little bit better, but they're not going to be able to buy up their armors if they want to go for rifles. This op is going to be the hero for this round no matter what, and it looks like Wills is going to be committing to this A site. And yet again, Delaware, both these guys in the casino in Delaware are winning big because they're not even looking towards A at all. Maybe the Cypher going back for a lurk, but I don't see him walking up too far. Lucas has been, he's been playing with fire a little bit, right? But this one's a little bit mush. I think he should be going for a cam, perhaps if he goes for anything at all. But no, he's just gonna put the trip down and look elsewhere into mid. As RIT this time have a little bit better of a decision. They put the op over towards the weak site and stack the B, which they have pretty much 3 players quick, with Astra quick response if needed. But no noise means that he wants to play a little bit between the sites, but with that 1 orb tap, looks like he is floating back towards mid right now with the smoke down.
Grenade!
There are 4 here. Delaware are sitting still. They don't want to leave, and with that, they've been seen. They have to go for it. Showstopper in. Should land a kill. Has another one maybe on the docket. This is a bit awkward. Ting can't do much. At least takes Cosmic down to a fairly low amount of HP, but the way through mid, not even acting in time. Harissa's got one in the site itself, and Lucas should just be content to cut off any rotates if they happen to happen, but I don't think that anyone from RIT is going to be looking in his direction, because he's the one looking behind RIT again, goes for another double flank. He's flanking the flankers. Wants to catch the op. He knows. Yeah, he knows Willis still has his op, and there's no way this guy goes for the retake, so he's just going to try and hunt.
Wants this so bad. Deservedly so. And that's the tension this round. It's not the question of if they lose. That's already been decided. It's the question of if they still get this operator, if they still have this one little piece. It looks like they'll actually get away with 2 here unless Lucas can hunt it down. Oh, no, Wills is going to win it. Okay. And so that will be the only gun from RIT left on the field as we tie things up. Another star-studded entry from Delaware. They keep coming up with them, and they have not messed up in a while. RIT, a couple ults on the board. Again, the stopping forces to put it together. But the question is, do they still play for that retake, or do they play to try to be the wall that Delaware was able to be so often?
Well, this one, certainly the wall is a lot more reinforced than we had previously. This is the first time that RIT have guns in quite a while. And even, they're not even just holding still. They're pushing back against them. The Showstopper's going to go into mid. Maybe find a couple. Kepster's got one. Harissa and Goyangi trade her right back. But Cosmic, Sticky Rice has made his way through sewers, but not going to find any frags. And very quickly, as fast as the round starts, it ends, seemingly. Hunter, the only one left alive. He's smoking with a knife out, but no, instead, it's his counterpart on the other side that does just that, and it's a 1-on-2. Plenty of time for both teams to play with, but Delaware don't want to waste any of it. Right into A, Plant going down for Heaven, leaves them a lot of options for where they want to play themselves, and Hunter just has to run it. Doesn't have any idea what the second player is either. One person at the plant, but this guy could be anywhere, could have worked up. Has to clear every single corner, and like I mentioned, first time they've had guns in a while, but it looks like this round might be one of the last. Not quite though. Hunt has got it down to a 1-on-1, but even still, the plant makes it's certain that Delaware are feeling quite safe. And even to make sure that he's not going to be on it for the time being, but he's going to get caught on the cross. Lucas, very nicely played, not scared, brings them up to 11. And first time they've had a lead since the first half pistol.
Lucas is really making a great impression on this attacking half on the Cypher. He's very unafraid, which I think is exactly how you need to act as the Cypher. Your utility is as disposable as it is important from round to round. It really can depend by the second, honestly. But Lucas's camera placements have been great moment to moment, and his trap wires are great to cover up the tracks of a fast attacking and very efficient University of Delaware. This really is continuing to truck along and sees no sign of stopping. The comeback is real, the comeback is complete, and now the win is in Delaware's sights.
Hold on just a minute though, because RIT are playing a little bit more unorthodox this time, playing it quite safe, not sending a gamble stack anywhere particular, but instead they're banking their money on shotguns across the entire team. They've got 3 of them. Willis with the blade, so you could count that as a 4th if you wanted to. And Ting the only one with a sheriff, but everyone else has the potential to make some really weird stuff happen in this round, because Delaware have not faced this, at least in this game. They're going to find one Bucky in mid, and last time, Goongai was the only one to have this weapon, so they might think something of that and look elsewhere. But luckily for them, yet again, in this B site, it's completely empty. No one's even playing close to gamble with the shotgun. Instead, it's the Sheriff up inside Heaven. And he's going to be looking very, very far. It's not like Goongai can even try to help him. Maybe some noise being made with the cam on the other side of the map, but they're going to bait them out completely and just hit B site. It's completely free. There's no one even close to try and contest. This is absolutely beautiful from Delaware.
30 seconds left.
Site, yet again, they have advantage. But this time, Wills has knives. 4 left to grab a spike place on top of yet another. Coming here, a blind pivot, 2 Wills for 1. Now has control of back 90. Cosmic, 2 kills, but 1 knife.
One
that is
enemy
gone.
remaining.
Paint shells
Last player
tossed aloof,
standing.
but it's enough to finish off Hunter, turning this to a 1v1 that Lucas has an ult on, but Wills has the drop on! And RIT break
least
the
they
streak
tried.
just in time to tie us back up.
With a shotgun buy, 3 of them with shotguns, and they make it work. Beautiful stuff from them as well. Delaware got in the site for free, but they pop. I thought that was Delaware's Cosmic Divide, but no, that would have been a mistake. I was about to really go into them for that, but RIT's Cosmic Divide, that one was beautiful because Delaware aren't aware that 3 of them are shotguns. They see the Viper, they're like, okay, surely she's the only one with a shotgun. No one else can have that many shotguns, right? They have blades. They surely want some long-range fights, but no, they pop the wall. Then because they all have shotguns, they can just play on the wall. And it's forced close range fights. That's so smart from RIT, and they send the flash through along with everyone else, peeking it as well. And now they have the op. Don't need any shotguns when you have this thing. 11-11. They're looking to at least take this couple more. They're still struggling in their own economy on the side of RIT, so this is still a swing round. This would be terrible for them to lose this because it would basically guarantee a map win for Delaware. But with the op, this should prove a little bit better for them as they do once again have it on their weak site this time. Delaware looking back towards B now that they've heard the op ring true. Smoke's gonna go down.
Need that back.
In fact, it's gonna be recalled, so maybe RIT have an idea as well. They're rotating the op back towards this B site, so this is now a problem for Delaware. They need to act a little bit faster, or maybe try and default a little bit through mid. But the smoke's gonna go down in time for Sticulate to have an angle if he wants it. Nade's gonna go through, but he's stunned real bad. Can't manage to find one. Not even a second as Cosmic does the same. Finds 2, and now alert inside himself. I think they're aware, and they are. They're so smart. From the side of Delaware, the op's still in play, but needs to try and retake with only one teammate.
Vision.
And this should be hell and high water for them to go through.
30 seconds left.
Planted.
Delaware is seemingly omniscient at this point. And as we reflect on how Delaware has once again clawed their way back here, we reflect on where these seasons started. Delaware, again, 2-3 coming into this match. Rochester, a pretty strikeless record. Their only loss being a 3-map match against Arlington. But as we head into the remainder of the season, next week, RIT has an undefeated Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Delaware has Howard. This could be a turnaround moment for this squad as they are one round out from taking this first map.
Oh, and that one loss is a little bit of a disaster. RIT are going to have to force up. They have no choice but to invest in the rifles for everyone around their team. Hunt is going to try and scrounge up whatever scraps he can to get Goonguy a judge. I say scraps like, yeah, the judge is great, but with the recent nerfs, it's definitely... It feels a little bit more hurtful to use it than before. It's definitely not the monster that it was, just run and gun, 3 kills no matter what. We're going to be looking into it, though, and Goonguy is playing closest time in the smoke, nonetheless. Question is, are they going to spam it? Delaware seem to have been aware of most of the positions that this Viper has been playing, but he's now going to put down the smoke. Dog's going to go through, and he should be dead. No, they don't check him. This could be a massive problem. He could have at least 5 free frags here if they want to go through with it, but they're still playing very, very slow.
Please, please, somebody just check this judge. Goonguy should not be getting away with this for this long. They have no idea they're here. If they go off of this push, this is at least 1 free kill. But they will duck away. They will not go for it. They are... At least not yet. Oh, Goonguy. How... Oh, let's play the waiting game. 50 seconds on the clock. Why not? Who's gonna buckle first? For the first map or for overtime? They're gonna go for it. Bird is ready. Fault line's ready. Delaware is pressing the trigger. And Goonguy's ready. No trigger discipline. First kill off rip. Cosmic Divide set up, but Goonguy gets the second. And so it's 2 as we enter. But Sticky Rice is ahead of the curve
where you
for the follow-up. A spike tap, a spike drop, a spike drop. Sticky Rice, another kill. And it's a 4v2 as the neural theft gives away the remainder.
1 enemy
Position
remaining.
is guaranteed, but Hunter has the wall bang. And the second! We go to overtime on Split.
RIT
sides.
playing on the lack of discipline
Overtime.
from Delaware. Checking corners, the most basic thing. A couple little lapses in their judgment. Literally just two lapses in judgment right behind the Cosmic Divide and then right behind the main box on B. Yeah, sure, you haven't seen them play there ever. But that's the round where it matters, right? The round which either wins you a map or takes you to OT. That's the round which you really gotta make sure you check all the boxes, and that is the one round they haven't done that, and that bites them in the butt. Now we go into overtime. One of the best rounds that you could possibly have against RIT. They let that little thing slip away, but Goongai has been playing well so far. They're like, don't even discount this guy out. He's at the top of the scoreboard for the side of RIT, which is kind of crazy considering he's a Viper. But this guy's been making all the good decisions, and it looks like that one was a beautiful one at that. On the attack again. Straight up ramp. They are very, very fast. That's what this Viper wall allows you to do. Just take this ramp control immediately. No one on site can help you. No one can call for the cross on main. And with that, Sticky Rice has once again, he's done what they've done on RIT as a whole multiple different times. They've sent Goongai there usually, but this time it's the Raze into vents. This time through A, not through mid. But it's the same kind of idea. You cut off the rotates completely. You put a lot of question marks top ramp into heaven. You see Delaware kind of has to check this a little bit. I think they're going to send a Skyburn into here eventually. But for now, there's two people making noise. There's a Sky and a Raze. So there's a lot of attention being paid towards this. They're keeping 3 here. They're going to guarantee a 3-on-2 towards the B site and even drag another one over. Cosmic's rotating. Now it's only the Cypher has his kit to work with. Has his back covered with his own trip. But he needs to do a lot to keep them in this round.
Sticky Rice, pot shots taken, noise made, but Goongai with the opening pick, and that is going to be the go signal for the rest of the team to come. Cosmic is blocked away with the Nebula
30
in
seconds
tower.
left.
The site is handed over to RIT, who still have Sticky Rice laying in wait. He's got to make it clear and will get it done pretty quickly too. And so, walk in
Sky's out!
4v4. Cosmic will hear Ting. Still this tower presence, engaging, dominating, and now, as personnel-wise, it's RIT that has to play the long game. But Delaware, that has to burn away util trade. Hunter on a massive flank here, though, means that this is actually a 4v2 on site. Cosmic is able to deal with Goongai easy. Wills now has to wait for the rest of this, otherwise it's going to be just a held down spike. They're just going to hold it down. Goyongi will kill Wills early. And now they just have to deal with Hunter. Man, should be easy for them. Goyongi spamming around. Hunter finding a second. Hunter spraying through, but just barely Harissa is able to hold it down.
Switching sides.
And grab
Match
the round.
point.
Delaware sits on match point.
Oh man, Hunter, I mean, he played aim labs towards the end there, just headshot after headshot. And even through the smoke, spammed down the wrong person. He knew the round didn't end at that point, so you had to keep going for it, but unlucky for him, ran out of bullets in the weapon. But even still, I mean, backhand from Goyangi, just getting back in the sight. Cosmic even with the drop shot on the guy that was underneath heaven. So many nice things happening from Delaware in terms of mechanics there, and RIT just couldn't stack up, at least in that round. They're gonna have to in this one, because Wills yet again has a glass cannon op on the defense. No more money to buy armor. Even only one smoke, not even an updraft, so no escape tools if he gets caught out, so he has to land this shot, and he doesn't even get a chance to fire. Harissa through the corner of the wall. Absolute beautiful opener into what might be the last round on this split.
This is looking about done and dusted. No way to get this op back, realistically. At least for now in RIT guys. There might just not be enough time. As Delaware scopes out their chances on A site. The dog will search, find nothing. But Ting lurking. Got the hand of the dog. Triggered. Cosmic the entry. To help the dog get online and slow things down for the inevitable 4v4. Birds trade it is. Delaware takes some interesting positions here. But eventually they'll get onto site and be able to still... Lucas's lurk is huge! How much can it evolve into? It'll do so quicker than the previous one from Hunter. Unless RIT comes out even quicker. They will. Kevster blocked out by the paint shell. Sticky Rice early kill on site, which is now one enemy. Harissa has to duck back as Lucas will grab one, but only one. And now swings back. Sticky Rice
Attackers
unavailable.
win.
Delaware will grab the first map.
Delaware come into this one and they say, smoke the doubters. We're winning this map number 1 against RIT. Almost undefeated their opponents. But it doesn't even matter. They come into this one and they put on a show. It might have been close. It was 14-12. We had to go through every single round in standard time and then single OT to finish it off. Delaware don't drop a round when they go to extra innings. And that was quite impressive. I mean, the opening from Harissa towards the end there, that's absolutely crucial. Wills, if he gets a kill there, not only do they drop the smokes, but also the fact that you have an entry with the op, you keep it into the round as well. And we know how good Wills has been. He's on the scoreboard wise, he's quite low down, but that's because everyone's doing their job. Everyone's pretty much even. No one is going above and beyond and like absolutely hard carrying this game. Hunta is up there. He's 24-16. He's doing very well on the Astra. Cosmic is also up there, 22-19. But like, no one is dropping 30s in this game. No one's got like a 10 KD or something like that. So it's everyone kind of doing their jobs. But at the end there, you can see Delaware, how we're kind of just like that last round in standard time made them buck up. And they really needed to get their game together, and they did that for the last 2 rounds in overtime. That last round especially, beautiful entry towards that B and rotating right back towards A site and making sure that they are playing just with RIT's heads. Like RIT were playing with theirs, dragging the rotates over on their own defense. They got kind of bamboozled towards the A site. They had a stack there, even rotating the Rays off even. But they're able to come back into it, win all the gunfights towards the end. Took them a little bit to warm up, but now that we have done just that, I'm curious to see what more they have to give us in this series.
Yeah, do they have the ability to springboard this into a 2-0 victory, or do we see more work coming in from RIT? We find out as we take ourselves to Haven in just a few short minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Inside EGFC Season 5. My name is Anton. I'm back with Tenric once again to bring you guys map number 2 of Delaware against RIT.
Super exciting start to this match so far, as Delaware has once again just dug their claws into this game again and again against an at first stunning but still powerful now RIT. Both of these compositions, both of these teams look incredibly strong, but in their own unique ways, and Delaware was able to edge out that victory. We'll see if they can do it again on what they have not played very often, but like you said, they have played pretty dang well.
Yeah, 3-0 so far in the season. So this is looking like it might be a little bit in their favor, but who knows so far. RIT still, once again, RIT have not dropped many maps, like not even series, right? We said they went into a 3-map series, so that means they did drop 2 maps last week. But apart from that, they've had solid 2-0s across their entire season so far. So the only struggle they really had was actually last week. It's in a different league, but no, yeah, in this league, they have not had very close games at all. They've been 2-0, like 13-4, 13-2 across pretty much all the maps, 13-3 some. So for Delaware to finally actually give them some kind of competition, this is a really good showing, in my opinion, from the side of UD, right? Because not only did they come into this one with a bit of a lesser in the standings in their win-loss, but also the fact that, once again, they've had such a glow-up over the course of these weeks, over the course of the off-season as well, before Season 5 started. And now they come into this one, and they are not only butting heads, but seemingly in terms of their history on Haven itself, potential to maybe 2-0 the team that has been 2-0ing everyone else? Question mark.
Yeah, it's again, there's a big question mark after that. Because RIT is still just looking so dang strong. And like you said, Haven is no different. Their differential is still absolutely incredible. Their technical ability is still great. Their comms are nuts. And with them starting again on the attacking half, one that they continuously just displayed idea after idea on, I wonder what they can bring to such a historic site like Haven, especially with these 3 sites, especially with a Sticky Rice that has already proven that he is kind of an everyman when it comes to these duelists. And Goon Guy, who has already played such a good lurk on the defense.
Let's see what they got to bring into this one. I mean, speaking of the fact that, I mean, tenure of this map, it's becoming a little bit like a Ascent, where we basically see the same comp across every game after game after game, and of course through these teams as well. We have a mirror comp here in this matchup itself. RIT and Delaware both running double initiator with the Sova and Breach. Single smokes, jets, and no one's still opting for the Cypher. A little bit surprised that we haven't seen too many Cyphers on Haven, at least after the buffs. I think even before the buffs, this is one of the maps he was viable on, but I mean, one of these teams are comfortable with, right? Lucas is great on both agents. Wills is switching off the jet, this time on a completely different role, but we'll see if he can make any success happen off of it as they go straight in sewers and instantly get taken off by Kevster. Okay, not the best start for this side of RIT, but Delaware, love to see that. One of the dive agents, and in fact the only one for Delaware, have been instantly removed, and they seem to want to keep looking towards this A though, as they poke and prod towards sewers, keeping the spike in tow, but it's slowed down right as that first kill happens.
To a halt. Welcome back. RIT still feeling good about this attack, and for good reason. This is the right place to be with their comp, with their position, with their time. Fault line into the Cuppy, meant to deal with Goyang. There's so much other presence that Goyang is actually the one that gets away with all of the
enemy
killing.
remaining.
Ting able to hold the line for a little while, but not long enough. Hunter gonna be that last man standing here for RIT in round number 1. No flanks.
30 seconds left.
This round. Delaware playing it pretty much entirely on the defense. Just putting up that brick wall that they knew and loved so much when it stopped RIT's attack before. And of course, Split and Haven are incredibly different maps. But when it comes to taking these sites quickly and efficiently,
10 seconds left.
More enemy down. At that core, it is still so dangerous and so important. Delaware going to be able to take this first round too, standing, keeping some of those guns up, and again, just very disciplined.
And even so much so that the only opportunity that was really provided was a little bit of a lucky, somewhat lucky is a nice shot to a wall, but catching the shoulder of the Sova is taking spawn. But the rest of Delaware just Ferrari right in, and now they come into this round with a bunch of Spectres. Kevster saving for the off, maybe in round number 3 or 4, depending on how confident they are. But everyone else just has these SMGs. RIT have one single Sheriff on Hunter because he was able to get quite a little bit done in that round, and maybe is okay with lesser armors in the future. But now Delaware looking and stacking this A site, finding absolutely nothing. RIT walking up very slow outside C, but is a full retake setup here. Damage being done, a little bit of delay for the rest of the team. The Jet's gonna end up clearing basically the entire site. They should at least have done the hardest part in this round, which is get on site, get the plant down, and now, what's the options?
Hold down early. I think this is the right call. We've got to blitz Harissa here.
One enemy
but
remaining.
Lucas has the off angle, and you only need one when you have the gun advantage. Nothing doing on any other angle. Only one will fall, and Delaware keep it clean for round 2.
Yeah, that's beautiful stuff. Even some heads-up play from RIT wanting to go into spawn, take some control, maybe catch some members of Delaware off guard, but they're completely ready for what's happening. As soon as the smokes fall inside pretty much CT, they're able to read out the fact that they are going for an aggressive play and just play back. Get some bait setups there inside garage and the spawn itself. They keep it fairly clean, losing only one player, but everyone else is going to have a very convincing bonus into this round. Kevster is even going to keep that money on to the next. I'm a little bit shocked that he's not dropping a weapon over to Lucas, but yeah, they're very content with just taking their chances with the SMGs, and RIT are looking towards the A site where It's a little bit of a weaker stack as Delaware have 3 towards C for the time being, but it is the KJ towards A site with the utility, with an alarm bot through B, but both mollies as well as Turret helping himself out. Turret's going to spot, pop the molly right at his feet, and make sure that he can swing off of it. But it could be a little bit unlucky because, he's the only one without a weapon. He's got a sheriff, so you could maybe find some headshots, but it's going to be tough because RIT are looking 5-man into A right now, and there's 3 people in sewer ready to contest.
Quick. And Sticky Rice is pretty quick. Lucas shut down. A site is RIT's. So far, perfect marks.
Here.
But how far can you carry that torch? Play for the post plant. That's what Delaware wanted to do. Huge pings on the recon bolt. They know where they have to clear, which is, of course, everywhere. That's what happens when there's 5 on A. Kevster doing a pretty good job at it, though. 2 in hell, victims of the Spectre, and that leaves room for the rest of the team to come crawling in. A clear house. Hunter has to hit all of those headshots.
Last player standing.
And cannot. Go Youngie. Better TTK. The 1v2 that Wills cannot hold on to. Delaware swipe away the bonus. 3-0.
Delaware, the team play in that round on the retake was absolutely phenomenal. Flash into hell, letting the jet dash up. In contrast, I think honestly, okay, I'm not completely flaming him here. I don't want to sound like that. Like, the Sticky Rice smoking himself there might have been one of the bigger issues in that round, I think, because not only does that reveal 2 of his teammates standing in the corner, that technically reveals himself, so it's not like he's getting any kind of safety for not getting pinged there. He's in the smoke. Teammates get pinged out from default from Graffiti, so Delaware kind of have a solid idea on where they need to clear for the retake, so they do just that. They flash in the right spots, and that flash hits both players in hell, and also kills Sticky Rice, so very nicely done from Delaware. Perhaps just a little bit of, again, a lapse in judgment from the side of RIT. What? They do? Okay, not quite. They claim a life back, but they're stuck in the little microwave that Lucas has set up inside the garage. 2 of them go down. They trade 1 for 2 for the side of Delaware.
I take those for the clips every time.
Oh, yeah.
That was so dope.
Shadows traveling.
1 enemy remaining.
Kevster going for the rush
Spike
down,
down
too.
mid.
They are just so unfettered. Kevster is feeling so good, and rightfully so. His jet on Haven is so consistent. I'm so glad I get to see him pull out the duelist. I know he's a very solid Sky. He and Goyangi made it so far so many times on Split, and that worked so well in bringing them that first map. But letting him work on the sniper down C or A long, or even with just a Vandal, some knives down mid, he just is so dominant. 8-1-2 so far. And that's not going to change anytime soon. He's got that operator now, and he's looking to have an open kill up sewer.
Dart gets shot, so they have an idea on where this player is. I think he's just holding him in the corner now, and the problem is, Sova's got the spike, so that could be a big issue. He's not going to get out anytime soon unless he goes for a drive peek. But the flash in mid, the Sticky Rice actually takes out the breach over towards B, and the Sova does get away. Maybe missed shot, maybe something else for the side of Delaware, but at least RIT are able to escape the clutches on the A site. They're going to leave this solo op towards A and stack towards the other half of the map. Delaware are keeping very, very pretty. And maybe asking a few questions. The Sova's rotating back a bit, but with that util, this has to be a C hit. A lot of stuff being thrown at. Harisa has to back off and just keep her life. Most important character in this retake is the smoker. Takes a bit of liberty. Wants to go for the spam back in. Actually does a lot of damage to Sticky Rice. Let's commit to it a little bit more,
Spike
perhaps,
planted.
but doesn't know for sure that someone's back there, so doesn't want to waste too many bullets. And Sticky Rice is going to stay there. But yeah, at some point, you gotta keep guessing. And the guesses pay off. Now what's the util like? You just keep along with that drone flash going through. It's secured 2. Absolutely impeccable play. Once again, the teamwork shines through, but it's not done yet. 2-on-4. Smoke. Winston going down. Lucas is going to spam through. Hunt is going to secure it through it first, though, and Kevster has a response to it. But now left to just the KJ, not present on the site in time. Wants to keep the weapon and does just that. But Delaware now up to 5-0.
And it just doesn't matter how good RIT is at taking sites. when Delaware is just so much better at taking them back. Their entries so clean. They always know when RIT is looking the wrong direction. I mean, we see Lucas just blindly pushing through Garage the moment that they see that the only things that RIT are caring about are Long and Link. Delaware just has this knack for dragging the attention of RIT around. Hook, line, and sinker, they have fallen 5 rounds straight. And a timeout rightfully calling out for it. As they have still everything except guns, of course, for this next time around. They have an ult bank developing. They have, again, still very clean comms. They're so good at getting to where they need to go. They're just losing when it comes to holding it down.
I definitely think the solution for them is going to be very, very difficult to come across in this game itself. It's definitely a long-term thing. Like, the togetherness of both these teams are like a mile apart right now, at least today. Maybe not in the previous days. Maybe RIT has looked very, very good because like they don't win 2-0 every single game for nothing, right? They have to be very solid in terms of the team play. But for some reason, I don't know what it is today. Maybe someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe 4 of them did. Maybe all 5, perhaps. But it really does not look like they have the coordination that Delaware does. Like how well these guys are playing off their util. This is the first time we've seen someone kick off a flash, I think, from the side of RIT, and even still. Only an off shot. Not quite enough because they trade 2 for 1. Hunter gets 1 back, but that's a bit lucky through the smoke. Weapon switch off. Kevster wants to go for this, and right up top, he actually flies over a player. Doesn't manage to get the kill, but Goyoung trades off of that and even gets more. Look at how well every single member just plays off one another. They do let him get out, though. A little bit of a slip up. Is aware of the next player going up as well. Now it's a 1-on-1, and ability to clutch not quite there. Goyoung secures a quad kill and brings them up to 6.
Ending up so close this time around, but again, that's only because of an amazing attempt from Wills. Just, again, getting the drop, which is what has gotten Delaware so far. Kevster delivering the pile driver and dying for the 2nd time this game to make sure that Goyoung gets in safely. And like you said, that's just how well this team plays, like dominoes collapsing atop each other so that you always trade back. You always get your revenge. There is always 2 available to get that done. But if Kevster does not land that op shot and in fact gets dipped, then that entire plan can collapse in itself. Stewart's taken, up stolen, and ace site taken with a 5v4 deficit. And with Spike not even really tapped, Hunter's Fury already has to be sacrificed just to allow time for Delaware to get back on. They really want to keep this streak going. They don't want to allow any moment for RIT to think they can steal this away. But with the lockdown placed down as well, so much committed here. Oh, Goyoung! It's actually 3 aftershock kills across the lobby, but Goyoung 3 for themselves. Delaware down to just 1 though. Harissa has to break through. Not much time to do it. Fault line placed and Hunter can swing back. RIT will finally get their round, but it comes at the hands of Chaos and actually being able to win out a duel over Kevster.
Absolutely. They start out well, and I think, I mean, yeah, it's pretty clear what you have to talk about when you go into that timeout. Anyone that's watching can kind of know. If they have a coach even spectating their game, they're going to understand that they have not been playing together. And that round, not only do they out-mechanic the op down short, but also on the site itself, they play together so well. They peek off the flashes, even the stun at the end. That's something that we've seen so much from Delaware and just not from RIT. And coin flip right after the timeout, they pull that stuff out. They just stun, spawn, peek off of it. It's simple stuff. And we finally see that coming out from RIT. Took a while, but the fact that we've gotten here means that we might have a much closer series on our hands because it is such an anomaly that they have not been doing that so far. Maybe it's just the fact that we haven't been catching it and Delaware has been really on the show in terms of what we've been seeing. But whatever the case, RIT finally stopped the bleeding for just a little bit. But once again, with that kind of round, it's a little bit of a coin flip because, I say coin flip, sorry, swing round. 1 player on the side of RIT basically broke. Everyone else having a decent amount in the bank. They really want to keep it as clean as possible. Harissa spots up 1.
You should run.
The smokes out, but is aware of more. Has to be a little bit careful now, but they don't know that she hasn't dropped off yet. It was 1 for 1. Hunter trades it back. Well, Goyoung still at the back of the site is locking it down, while the opponent lockdown is going through and they have to vacate.
Oh, that's a little tough, but they want to play for postman anyway, and Goyongi will not have any contesting onto Heaven. As Will's gonna get the spike down, and they're too focused on Link, so can still ult back into this. But this is a very good setup from RIT. They've taken up a lot of space and will back out as well and prep for this Rolling Thunder. Lucas, the opening kill onto Tinko, and now the Rolling Thunder will come through. That will be one caught, but Goonguy still able to find 2 drops onto Hell. And Cosmic still doesn't have full clearance. Goonguy for 3! RIT have advantage, and I think enough time to work with. Hunter's Fury on top of Spike for good measure. Kevster has no chance of getting it done in time. We'll just have to run away. Try and find something on the way out. We'll grab an operator, but RIT make it 2.
They keep the op into the next round, but a little bit disjointed in that retake, something that we haven't seen very much from Delaware. But it looks like after the timeout, the scenes really have flipped. RIC working very well together as a team on that site take itself. And Delaware, a little bit frazzled. I don't think they really expected to get triple detained at the end. And Kevster missing a huge op shot with the triple push from RIT, trying to punish the 3 detained, right? Because sometimes when you have 1 detained, maybe, okay, you expect that they're baiting. They had 3 people. Surely that had to have been an accident. They had a 1 op shot to guarantee maybe some kind of punish on the people that were pushing spawn, but it ends up missing and everyone else just gets back on the site. Nicely done from RIT to hold that one down, even though it did get close at the end. They keep it honest in terms of money, but that's for both teams, because look at Cosmic Stone. He doesn't have a full rifle. Not only does Lucas also have only a Guardian with half armor, so a little bit lackluster in terms of the firepower from the side of Delaware. But we'll see what they can do with it as RIT default everywhere. They send some attention towards A. They run right back towards Garage. And there's only 1 player here, and they know that Lucas has only a Guardian, so he can't manage to hold it down.
But can Kevster. Oh, that's a good start. We go again. Guy get a challenge? Oh, Kevster actually down. Gonna serve that updraft, and now Goonguy gonna chase this down. And control Link a little bit more.
Spike
we'll
planted.
Head to logs, double back, and head back to long. And sight the rest of RIT. This is clean. This should be round, even though it's a 4v5. They have a lot of util. And they also have a flank watch. As long as they win that duel, they should be fine. Lucas can't win there. So yeah, it is RIT all over the kill feed. Nobody else drops as they'll pick up a 3rd.
Absolutely flawless on that site hold from RIT once they get in the post plant. They play triple default because they know the smokes from Delaware have been flawless on their retakes as well. This has been week after week that they've had really good smoke protocols, so RT understand this. They play on the site itself. They have 1 person down long C for just some kind of contingency plan, but they don't need it because they adapt to what Delaware have been doing. The retake's been coming through. The flash goes, the Omen flash goes through default, but everyone just sidesteps it. Like it's that easy for the side of RIT. They talk about it 1 round, and they don't make the same mistake again with both of them got blinded. Now they keep 3 on it, and Sova gets the kill walking out of garage. Now big problems for Delaware because with the retakes not really working out. What more do they have? They have to try and hold, but Lucas doesn't have the weapon to do so. All the way to the back goes the jet from the side of RIT. And it looks like there was even a question whether he wanted to push in the spawn or not, but they gotta keep it a little bit safe. Flank gets called out from Cosmic. And now there are 2 people looking behind here with some support from the breach. Second flash goes through. There's a free kill, but actually Kevster gets the first. Don't know if they're aware of the second. Cosmic can't manage to find it. Delaware only left with 1 after that kill, and not gonna have anything to play off. RIT with now 4 in a row after the streak of 6 from Delaware.
I'm amazed by the 180 this game has been able to take. RIT are really putting on a show at this point. And the aim is really playing a big role in that. Their TTK is massively down from their matchups on split. They are much better at just coordinating and landing their shots. And like you said, it seems that they are much cleaner in team play now, beyond just taking that site. Because their coordination during that is, I mean, amazing. But when it comes to hitting those fights afterwards, interchanging angles, flank watching, throwing out your, util to trade or even try and grab a kill, that is where they kind of flunked until now. Kevster, now the knives to attempt to breach sewers. As an inkling that they're there. It's actually a pingless drone, so we're gonna have to head up. Alright, not gonna press this, especially if Wills finds a kill onto Harissa. TP on a C site is actually gonna get stuck to. Ting is back there. And Lucas, Lucas knows about it, lands the shots. But now has to stop the rest. The aftershock, too powerful though. Has to step back into garage and hand C site back over. 4v4. Delaware might feel kind of capable in here actually. Bladestorm is available though. Lucas still has to get stopped and the diversion is enough. Garage is breached, but Kevster is alive. And is coming alive as well. Wills now still in garage, gonna give themselves away with the turret.
One
So
enemy
much to
remaining.
stare at. Kevster, gorgeous!
At least they tried.
That is one way to guarantee a lead for the half.
Calling out RIT's excellent aim, their excellent mechanics, and then Kevster, he heard us or something because he pulls that out of the bag.
Last round before
Absolutely
the switch.
unreal. RIT were set up perfectly in that post plant, sending one reflank back towards spawn, holding it down. A little bit of panic, I think, from the KJ, popping both mollies on the spike. Didn't need to do that. But even still, even after that, they recover, right? Because they have the positioning to make what they have planted for work. They have one player in spawn, one player in garage. That is such a wide flick. There should be no realistic way Kevster lands both kills. But instead, it just happens. Like, it actually just happens. That is unreal. That keeps them in the lead, stops RAT's streak. Kind of reset. Nah, okay, the money's fine. Lucas is kind of struggling a little bit, Harissa even. So Delaware actually come out on the lower end of that buy. But even still, that is a big confidence boost for Kevster. That is absolutely insane how crazy that clutch is. And now RIT, they're slowing it down. They know they can't go that fast at this point. There's guns on the other side and an up for the Jets.
Here.
It is definitely a bit of a tight budget, but it is one that is riding a high that Delaware need to profit off of. This feels almost like a necessary round the way that RIT is evolving and leveling up as this game has gone on. Lockdowns will be traded among the two teams, and thus so will a whole lot of util after the fact. As a free site will
30
still
seconds
be
left.
handed over to RIT.
Spike planted.
But it means that there's a lot more time to get this done after the fact. Sadly, if you're a Delaware fan, the Rolling Thunder is available here still. So finding this breach would be really nice, but the position is just so worth it
Get out of my
to
way!
get everyone in link the second they enter.
Stealing sight.
Bladestorm also pops it. Why not? It's last round. Here we go. But actually, they might have been too quick with it. Lucas
Last
and
player
Cosmic can at least
standing.
grab kills, but the rest of the squad is just too far behind and they can't match up. Kevster on the operator and just not enough time at all. Sticky Rice will not grab anything else, but I don't think Kevster will either. It will be a 7-5 game entering halftime.
One enemy
Kevster is at
remaining.
least going to pad some stacks before saying goodnight.
Once again, he puts his foot down. I mean, you got to do just that, right? Guys,
Switching
17 and
sides.
5 at the top of the scoreboard right now. Really showing exactly why this guy is on the Jets. Hard carry, yeah, kind of. Their only player even coming close to matching him on RIT is Hunter, and he's at 16 and 8. So he's also doing very well. Kind of one of the only reasons that they're able to make it this far in the first place in terms of mechanics. But everyone else, again, team play has been looking better. Delaware stepping up towards the end of that first half, at least. But getting triple detained again is definitely not exactly what you want. Going for those A site holds. RIT do just the same. They have 3 on that A. 2 towards the other side of the map with the KJ locking down B site with the util and helping out the Omen in terms of gunplay. Delaware seem to be walking into the setup as they have a turret in mid just for anyone that might walk out of garage or be forward towards C site itself. And these guys have to leave, throwing in all the util. They can't stay. And Ting plays life as we see a plant go down.
Crowded link. Rice will open things up. A lot of angles still held though for Delaware. And so they'll be able to at least
One enemy remaining.
Line.
Last player
There's a lot of space
standing.
back over. Kevster, though,
Sucked.
comes out with the 4K on the Ghost. And on low health, but again on a high that he is seemingly trying to ride into a win that he wants to just get on his own at this point. Delaware will grab the pistol yet again.
Man, on a Ghost, I mean, you might as well call Kevster the Ghost. This guy, apparently bullets pass straight through him. He can't be caught, can't be seen. He is putting on a show for us here at EGF. And that it's kind of unreal how he was able to survive for that long, but I mean, the guy can aim. Like, what can you say? Two really clean taps to the door. Now into this one, has the rifle into this round. Hero gun, because he got so many kills in the previous round. Big stun though. Smoke going down just in the nick of time. Swings off of it though. And Goon guys can inside of the one, not in the sight. If they want to push through, maybe get caught out. But Delaware smells something a little bit fishy, and they back off on a reset towards B. Solo Lurk might get caught in garage though, but no, he's got his back turned, but KJ doesn't want to push all the way out. So RIT keep it 5-on-5 for now, but the A site itself is, for the time being, empty. They try and get back onto it, just as Delaware try and get onto it itself. And the drone should spot everyone in the spawn position. Spam goes through Sticky, almost gets caught, but the spray! Continuation from Kevster is great to get both. Goon guy just barely gets out alive. The stun's gonna catch him, but can he find the frag? Doesn't matter. The coverage from the rest of the squad has got it under lock. And even the running gun. Instant tap. Triple on the round and brings them up to 9. Only 4 remaining to secure this 2-0.
And one orb away from the knives. Kevster just on another tear. Getting by with a little help from his friends in just dismantling A site. And in the, of course, again,
that's a nice song.
gun diff, 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 gun diff. But in the moments where Delaware can feel dominant, they need to exhume that over the course of this game. RIT are playing the mental so well in the crags of these fights that Delaware need to find the moments where they can play the mental better. And those moments where Kevster can just drag them by the hair. He looks to again. That's a good start. Traded out for Sticky Rice. That's getting entry for the rest of the team. Ting has gotten through the outskirts, though. Has found a second. Traded out for Goyongi, but they are the only one left standing after the back. How many can they find? Just one more. And so 2 are left standing for the bonus, as RIT will continue on script, at least so far.
That is an excellent amount of damage being done by Goyongi at the end, though, with the Spectre getting 2 and leaving only 2 alive. Hunter and Sticky Rice survive onto with rifles. They have a decent amount of money to be able to buffer themselves in the next round, but RIT, even having won that round, are not going to have a very pretty buy. Ting gets bought up by Sticky Rice, buying down to 0. So this is another big swing round. Even if they win it, it's another one of those rounds where even if they win, they're going to have a bit of a worse buy, and their opponents, Delaware, are going to have to do as much damage as possible. It's a fast play down long C for RIT, but this is a big problem because they're getting stuck here. There's been so much noise being made, so much util, and gunshots. Delaware have the exact read on what's happening right now. They're running towards A as fast as possible. Smokes are going down on the site before they even reach the entry points. They're still being careful though. Look at how disciplined they're being, even sending in the Sova drone, even after having heard that much stuff towards the C site. They're making sure they're not cutting corners like they did on that last round of standard time on split. And they're securing this plant. No deaths so far. A 5-on-5 for the retake for RIT.
Looking clean enough so far. Again, what we thought was a fading defense was really just a weaker side. If all matches up, but Sticky Rice, wow, what a headshot. And Ting is going to pick up off of that. An entry back from RIT as they will be the ones to land their shots. Goyongi only good for 1. Lucas the very same. And 3 still standing at the perfect time for RIT to keep themselves in this game. 2 rounds down and enough guns to get by now.
And no hesitation on that retake as well. Everyone just running in and winning their individual duels. It was hard to say exactly what was going on as a bigger picture, but I would imagine there's a lot of stuff happening in terms of team play, because I don't see Delaware just losing 3 one-on-ones back to back to back that often. So whatever the case, nicely done from RIT on the retake and the end there when there's nothing left to throw. Just trade out 1 for 1. And that's exactly what they've done. Delaware now with 1 ulti in the pocket because Kester has been playing exceptionally during this first little section of the second half.
Get out of my
He's got
way.
the blades. He's going to look to be the hero of the round, and they're going to look straight towards B, where it is empty in terms of people. There's a little bit of a U-turn to delay anyone else other than Kester to get on, but a smoke from both doors lets him secure the back of the site itself. And after a couple little clears of the front of the site, they do manage to get the plant down. There's Onta's Fury to try and deny, which it does just that. Find some damage, I think, also on the Sova. Spike plant, not quite just yet. Harissa is going to try and get it, and it looks like it's going to be confirmed. Knives in the back. Kester has got two, not even considering that it could be back there. Almost looking for a third as well. But now they know. Two guys going to try and flash quite interestingly, but everyone's ready for that. 1-on-5 for the Jet. Sticky Rice has to ace if he wants to win the round, and the blade's expended by his counterpart on the other side, but he knows exactly where he is. Finds the clean headshot, and Kester gets his hat trick.
An unreal shutdown of sight from Kevster. And again, it was kind of necessary after Harissa had that huge investment of the double smoke onto the doors in B. Normally, you only put down one and just try and guarantee another, but getting both of them in just to make sure Kevster goes in undetected to backside is such a huge investment. But with those knives, there was one that Kevster was willing to take and got two off of to break down one side of sight. From there, again, the dominoes continued to fall. An advantage handed back over to Delaware. Rice will pop the knives
Blocking sight.
as we see a pretty unbreakable taking of C-side. Yet again, defending side just kind of has to hand this over and let them see what they can find along the way. Lucas will kill Sticky Rice on the flank watch and will be waiting in long as the rest of the team comfortably take C-side here. This should be a pretty cut and dry 11-7.
This is going to be difficult. Kester even follows up with another kill on a Swan. He's still sitting all the way back there, and he does get wall banged out eventually. Alright, he still have the protocols to deal with whatever that is. Ting gets another kill on a Lucas down long C. Trying to get him out of garage for the spam! Absolutely punished. Wills tries to go for it first, but shot back by Cosmic. And Delaware, not flawless, but they keep it clean enough to keep building their own economy and shutting down that one of RIT.
This looks like it could be it. RIT has to indulge in the match point unless they clutch up here, which again is not out of the question. Goonguy is one away from the Rolling Thunder. Could definitely, you know, play the long game with that as long as you get on site. But look at this death ball. They're just going to stack up and try and take 40 up. How much of this schoolyard brawl does Delaware want to take head on? They will not. They will take it from a distance and open things up with the kill onto the one that is looking for that ultimate. Will not find it this time, but Sticky Rice's breached window and will catch Lucas lacking.
Gun here.
So it's a 4v4 onto an open C site, which ultimately RIT is pretty satisfied with so far.
They're not even going to try and protect the gun, which is, I think, smart from them. They, even if one rifle gets picked up, they have enough manpower on the site itself to be able to go for something there. There is a trade, though. Good play, good flash from the side of Delaware. Lets them secure one frag, but there is a weapon now picked up in the hands of Ting. Going for another duel. They know exactly where he is at this point. Kuryangi is so confident, taking the other fight to garage. Trade coming back onto Ting itself. And Wills doesn't want to reveal his location yet, actually, so doesn't pick up the gun until a little bit later. 6 bullets, though. Not much to work with. Has to go for the reload, and that buys a little bit of time from the side of Delaware. Playing it so well. There's a fight that goes in favor of the defense, though. 1-on-1 still. 5 HP for Wills, still at the disadvantage. Delaware should have no way of losing this round at this point. And not even a kill in Wills' name to end it out. That is a map and series point for the side of Delaware.
Match point. And 4 ults on the table now for them to cycle through. Kevster's got a 30 bomb. That is unreal. Oh my god.
I said that no one was hard carrying. No one was dropping 30. Map number 1, we had overtime. We're not even there yet. We're 12-7. And Kevster is at 30-9. He has a 3 KD.
Sticky Rice is going shieldless for the operator. An investment that we saw Kevster take before. Desperate times have called for desperate measures. Ting is solo held on C site all too many times. Kevster is not going to chase it down, but is going to retake Link. We've seen this setup again and and again, and it's worked again and again. The Rolling Thunder is countered immediately. Kevster is ahead of the curve, and a Rolling Thunder launched back. That actually will backfire. Wills and Ting are able to retake site. And now it's down to Harissa and Cosmic to make sure that this goes off without a hitch. The Rolling Thunder is available though to stall, and Cosmic just has their head on the right one. Hunter gets half of Spike. Taps,
One enemy
Hunter
remaining.
again, Harissa, and Cosmic can make
Attackers
it happen.
win.
Delaware were underdogs before. They were underdogs tonight. They are not underdogs anymore.
What an amazing way to close that out as well. Even after a little bit of a slip up from the side of Delaware, the Rolling Thunder going past the Omen on the defense, coming back in through spawn. Like you can see even layers in that one round alone. Adaptations from both ends. Delaware even, Kevster, before every single time they go for that C play, he just sits on top of site, plays very disciplined. This time in the last round of the entire game, he goes, pushes through spawn in the smoke, catches the Rolling Thunder off guard. Then accidentally he gets ulted by his own teammate. It kind of goes wrong there, right? Because Ting gets 2 as another frag, I think, from Hunter coming back into the site. Then you start asking questions. Then you start asking, what can RIT really find out of this? There's a chance. There is a Hunter's Fury, sure, but there's smokes from the defense. All these guys are playing off the site, so no one can deny. Everyone has to go for a spam battle. But then they smoke the wrong thing from RIT. I think they didn't really understand exactly where the plant was had gone down, so they smoked close to the default box. Instead, it was planted really wide, where Delaware has been planting and also where RIT has been planting. So it's been interesting to see them not understand that that's a possibility. But whatever the case, a little bit of panic set in, and Delaware just are sitting very far back, and they are calm as... I don't really have a metaphor there, but they're very, very calm, and they're just going for spams, and everyone just lands the shots that they need to at the end. And across the entire series as well, I mean, this team has looked so solid. It started a little bit slow, and it ended up picking up. As I said, took them a while to warm up. And in map number 2, they start off steamrolling, and RIT have to calibrate for 6 rounds in a row. But at that point, on your attack, that's a little bit too late. Let's Delaware get onto their own attack and take it. They even won the first half, by the way. Then they got on their own attack, and they steamrolled even more, and RIT could not adapt fast enough on the second half. So 13-7 from map number 2. Very convincing victory yet again, keeping their win streak alive on the map of Haven in EGF.
Yeah, they are continuing to feel comfortable on this map. They are continuing to feel comfortable in this season, as they are now even in the record books, and that can only get better as they go onward this season. We'll have a chat with the winning team in just a moment after this short break. are back with the victors of our last match of the night. University of Delaware once again claiming a victory this season. We have Cosmic, one of the team members. Cosmic, it's great to see Delaware continuing to win. How have you guys been feeling with all the recent success?
Well, it feels really good. We're definitely hyped that we're getting some wins out. Had a rough start, trying to iron some things out in scrims, but like we're seeing all the results paying off, and we're just happy that it's all working out.
Yeah, I guess the first thing that I have to ask you guys is relating to stuff that you do in practice, right? Because as I mentioned, I think I'm literally talking about you guys every single week we cast you. But it's been a long journey to the point where you've gotten now, right? Because you have last season where it's a little bit middle of the road. You end, I think, like 8th or 9th seed, and then this season you start off, like you mentioned, a little bit slow, and now you're just winning and winning and winning, especially against a team like RIT, who has had a near flawless record so far in EGFC. What is the stuff like? Okay, I don't want to ask the same question every week, because every single week I ask, like, oh wait, what do you guys do in practice? More specifically, I guess, I want to touch on, do you guys take inspiration from any like really high level teams, like say like the fundamentals like Fnatic and maybe like the EG so far that have won last chance? Do you guys look at some of these stronger teams and take inspiration from them for some of the stuff you do as a whole squad? Or is it more like individual, you guys all as a team come up with your own stuff and stuff like that? Like what is it?
If I'm being honest, we are big PRX fans. At least I am.
Yeah.
So kind of just like running it down. But I got my team to keep me in check. So we do pay attention to a lot of pro teams. I got my one teammate Luke. He loves Sentinels. He thinks he's tens. But yeah, we do actually try to run like actual comps and actual plays, and we pay attention to that. But also we try to mix it up and just have some fun with it too.
It's tacking on to your teammate thinking is tens. I mean, like there is definitely some trend that we've seen here in terms of Haven, and then one of the members of your team specifically on the map of Haven, and that member, I don't know if you've noticed, is his name is Cosmic, or excuse me, not Cosmic. Sorry, I'm so sorry. His name is Kevster, dude. This guy, I don't know what it is about Haven. I don't know what it is about him, but maybe you do because you're his teammate. But I've looked at his match history, and this guy, like unless you guys win like 13-2 or something like that, every single time he gets either close to or he straight up drops 30. How and why is that possible? Is this just like his favorite map in the game, or is he just super comfortable on it? Is your entire team just super comfortable on it? Like, what's going on here?
I mean, like, if I'm being honest, he's not even really a Jet main. I mean, he's good on Jet. Like, obviously we see that. But I think he mainly plays Raze. So, I don't know. I think he's just cracked at everything he plays.
No, it's true. Kevster kind of is just an everyman at this point, and seeing him as well as the rest of you guys light it up on Haven and Split before that was definitely exciting. We kind of wanted to see Sunset, but we figured that it might need another week in the incubator before you guys really rock it out. So we'll wait until then. But Cosmic, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you sticking around after the match, but we'll let you go in just a second. If there's anything you want to shout out or say before we say goodnight, now's the time.
Yeah, man, I just want to shout out the Wii Sports tennis team. That is one of our biggest supporters. I want to shout out Kieran. He runs our whole esports stuff. Shout out the team, they really be helping me and stuff. Other than that, I think that's it. Wait, I want to shout out DJ Migo and EJ, and that's it, I think.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for hopping on with us, Cosmic. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy another victory for your team, and best of luck next week.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Well, Anton, with that, we are done with our matches for the night. Another exciting turn of events here in the standings. EGF Valorant never fails to intrigue and surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations once again to Delaware for taking that 2-0. Unfortunately, we didn't have a game 2 today, and there was a long break because we had a couple of forfeits on both Stream A and Stream B. But we got, I think this last game kind of made up for it. Consolation to RIT, but they've had their time in the spotlight. It's time for them to maybe sit down a little bit, as Delaware has clearly shown. Very nice showing from them. Overtime in map number 1, quite close. And then the Haven did not look like it was much of a contest past the first half. So nicely done from them. And RIT, they played well, but Delaware, a little bit better. Once again, this has been an amazing night in Tenerife. I mean, I'm just going to let you close it out here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to stop talking about these two teams as they glance into exciting horizons for the rest of the season. But we will, as well as we close out tonight, make sure to get some rest as we head into a jam-packed weekend here on EGF. We'll see you next week or tomorrow or whenever. But until then, take care. Have a great night.